Snuk, I figured because we have a special guest.
Yeah.
And I know.
Yeah. Switch it up a little?
I know what she likes.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I know what she likes.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Classic shit.
That's actually me right there on the flute.
That's classic shit.
Yes! The 100th episode. All right, no, should I really make it official?
Yeah, of course.
We'll put in something a little better.
Yeah, make it official.
We'll put in something a little better.
Ep 100.
Ep 100 stuck on stuff. Damn.
Jules, we recording?
Jules don't have a mic.
Michael's
Jules. Michael's Jules. That's actually
Yeah, I
kind of
like
catchy.
it. This might be a thing going forward. I don't mind him without a mic, actually.
And we're back. Episode 100, Stuck on Stuff, with special guest, the beautiful, the ever-talented, the Joyner Lucas loving and not Stiz Grimey, Danielle Murr. Make some motherfucking noise. Yes. It has finally happened.
This is fun.
I know.
Yes, this is great. Thank you so much for coming on. We really appreciate it. Looking stunning.
Thank you.
I mean, it was my idea,
Lord.
but we'll just...
Yeah, it may or may not have been. Because, I'll be honest, I didn't think we could get her.
I'm very busy right now.
Yeah, you are. I know you got a lot going on.
I figured I'd throw it out there at least. Yeah.
Why not?
But yeah, no, she came through for the homies, and we really appreciate it. So actually, we got to give her the. She got to get the studio. Here we go.
Yeah, you got to give it. Make it official.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, rap porn!
That's right, the rap horn.
Yeah.
Now it's official. What's up, Danielle?
I feel like I'm at a festival in Brockton.
Yeah, except it's Revere,
I know.
Pretty close.
Close enough.
shit.
Probably
Close
the same
enough.
amount of gunshots will go off, I'd imagine.
Shot
shit.
spotter.
Yeah, smells probably the same. Little urine mixed with a little throw up.
Happy summer. Yay.
Yeah, summer, man. Yo, yesterday was the first 80-degree day. How did everybody feel? Yeah?
I'm not good with heat, so.
No? Yeah, see, I don't know. I think we've had this
feel like
conversation.
you're the same way, Stiz, no?
No, I would
alright.
rather, if you could take either extreme hot or extreme cold. I'm
I'm a
going with extreme hot.
I'm going
I'm a
cold.
beach head.
Really?
Put me in the beach, I guess, yeah.
But see, for me though, because I always say the cold hurts. It physically hurts. The cold,
Yeah, but the heat makes me
Yeah.
want to throw up. That's the problem.
People die in the heat. People die in the,
Heat don't
in the
do that
cold,
to me.
though, I guess.
People die in the heat, people die in the street. There's some lyrics for it.
There you go.
Hey, Joyner Lucas, are you listening?
Check me out.
I like winter clothing better though, so that's
Yes.
the reason why I like
really?
winter. Yeah,
Yeah,
give me hoodies and jeans and the whole look.
jeans.
I like
Yeah.
that shit way better.
Yeah, I don't know. I like summer shit, like shorts, nice shirt. But yeah, it was yesterday.
Nice shirt.
That's exactly what you're wearing.
80 degrees, baby.
80 degrees when he tells a bitch, please.
That's
Nice.
right. Raise up off these NUTs. You
Baz.
gets none of these.
Baz.
I was on Revere Beach last night.
I'm sorry.
My uncle has a. Yeah, I know.
Actually,
Wasn't what it
no,
was back in the day.
I shouldn't say that because they've done so much to clean it up and it's
Not like the beach where you're from is swamps.
Well, I mean, whatever, but
It's a nice beach over there.
Lower Revere Beach, as
Yeah.
Dave Andelman coined it many years ago, is a little different than Upper Revere Beach, but
Yeah,
it's
Point of Pines.
it's still nice.
Yeah, I was talking with my uncle. He has a condo on the beach, and so he has a balcony that literally, it's right on the beach. He overlooks the beach. Right. And back in the day, there used to be fucking a roller coaster on that beach.
Yep.
There used to be a giant boardwalk over the water that led to this huge ballroom that was on the fucking water.
How many
on a
balls
pier.
were in it?
Probably a lot, I'd imagine.
I heard of all
maybe
that
my
shit.
mom was getting freaky.
I never
in the
went to that
ballroom.
shit. We from the north.
Yeah, so you're
that
from
way.
the north
We
side.
do-
What beach
we do
would
Hampton.
you go to?
We go to Hampton.
You go to Hampton.
That's 20 minutes
yeah.
for us.
Yeah, see,
if you're in Hampton, Lawrence, Methuen, you go
That's
to
where you
Hampton.
go.
Hampton.
That's
Yeah.
the shit.
Yeah,
We
I
would
never do
drive.
Hampton. I'm not a Hampton guy.
Now,
I
Hampton's
mean, I
dope.
did as a kid. I feel like my mom, that would be a special day if we went
Right.
to Hampton,
Right, yeah.
But, I mean, I hate to sound like that guy, but I do feel like Hampton's not what it was.
Too late.
Yeah, I know. But, maybe it is because I'm getting older, but I don't like going to places where there's, a bunch of kids. And I'm sorry, but these
Yeah.
younger kids today, they're punks, they're loud. I just don't want to deal with it.
I'm bougie as fuck now. I don't be anywhere those places. I'll be going.
Oh, that's right. What?
I'll go to Maine.
Mr. owns his own house?
Yeah. Ooh.
Let's just head up.
I see you.
You can find me in Maine. I ain't going to Hampton or Revere. What the fuck is that?
Okay.
I don't even know what that is.
Sheesh.
What am
over
I
here.
fucking 22 having a beach house for the week and shit?
Fair.
Fuck out of here.
That's fair. That's fair.
That's when Hampton was fun, when you get the beach house for the week and
Yeah.
do the whole shit.
Because you could trash it and it didn't matter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's always would be in one of your man's credit card, but never yours.
No,
Right.
never yours.
You never
remember-
put your own card
Yeah,
down.
come
I remember
on, what
one
is
year
this?
just for the fuck of it, my man went like, yo, Snuk, peep this. And he looked up at his cell and he went like this. Boom! Yes,
For no reason. Yo.
Just because it was in my other man's credit card. We would charge him.
Yo, the shit that we did as kids, man. Oh my lord.
You are not getting that deposit back.
No,
that's the thing.
Never.
Yeah.
It ain't my card, kid.
My sister hit me up and said that she just got a week in July on Narragansett Beach in Rhode Island.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I never
That's
been
nice.
to Narragansett.
It's very
Yeah,
nice.
I'm looking forward to it though. And that's another thing. Like as a North Shore kid, I never went south. Like I never went to the Cape really.
No.
I never went to Rhode Island.
No.
If we went away, we went to New Hampshire, Maine. We
If you
always
went over
north.
a bridge or that wasn't north, or you went through a tunnel, it's a whole different world.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you
'Cause
wind up on the South Shore, it's like where the where am I?
Weymouth, fucking Waltham, Quincy.
I don't think
never
I
hung
ever
over.
went away anywhere.
Yeah, that's true.
Period.
Yeah, that's
Going to Hampton was like,
Like all right.
the whole like, we're going to fucking Canopy Lake Park this year. Like,
Shit, Canopy Lake was a vibe,
That's it,
though.
yeah.
Don't hate on Canopy. Canopy was a vibe.
Well, that
Of course
water
it was.
country.
Yeah, water country. Is
Water
country still
country,
around?
water country, water country.
How'd it go?
Have some fun.
Dun, dun, dun.
still
Yeah.
never been to this day.
What?
And I'm from here. I've never been to water country.
What, bro?
Nah,
I remember it was a
never.
huge deal for me. I went like five summers in a row. I'm afraid of heights, so I could never do Geronimo. Geronimo was the big ride that went straight down.
I'm not. No way.
Straight
no,
down.
I don't
Drops
give
you
a shit.
straight down.
Listen,
Straight down.
I am a believer in physics. I get it and all that shit.
You're
but I'm
gonna
just
stick to the
there's
slide.
no way in hell, because I'm gonna be the one person that's gonna somehow levitate off the thing.
Well, you
and
would see
die.
that. You would see that sometimes. Like, either they'd be too big or too little.
maybe
Yeah, some
too
like little
skinny.
5-year-old kids. Like,
Yeah.
And they would come
You
off.
blew it.
They would come off.
It was Stiz talking shit to me the whole time, right? Oh, I thought it was a drink. But well, I can say, nah. So it's somebody that looks like me. They fucking fly right off the shit. You blew it, man. Late with the
Yeah, it was a little late. That's all right. It was the thought that matters.
Yo, this was my shit though. Canopy Lake Park, or really anywhere, has this joint. Pirate ship, last row.
Oh, no, fuck that.
And
You
go
can't
like
beat
this
the
a little.
pirate
Go
ship.
like this a little.
No,
It's on
see,
the
you're
top,
one of
right?
them badass kids,
Get the
bro.
fuck out of here.
no, that's so fun.
I
though.
never liked the
fun as
pirate
shit.
ship because I never liked the feeling that you get in your stomach.
that's the
that's
feeling you
good.
want.
The feeling that your shit's like about to come out. I never liked the pirate ship, and if I did, I'm sitting in the middle.
No,
And that's if you
pussy.
get me to go on.
Like,
No.
why do you go on if you're in the middle? It's pointless.
Nah,
Like,
I don't like those rides. I don't like roller coasters really. Like, I don't know. Do you? You like roller
I don't
coasters?
anymore.
I don't mind so I don't go to like the crazy like Superman craziness
yeah,
like
fuck
super
all
high
that.
like no, I can't do it. Like I'll do it on the Oculus, but
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
gonna do it in real life. Like
I almost won't do that. I try to walk the plane.
Yeah,
and
it
my
wasn't
hands out.
happening. Wasn't
I couldn't even
happening.
do that.
That reminds me, I have to return walk the plank because I've only been like an hour in it. It's like, less than 2
Yeah,
hours.
yeah,
I'm gonna
you
return.
did-
It's
yeah,
like
of
just the
course, yeah.
experience.
Yeah, that's more.
Yeah.
That game
It could
is
be like a
more or less
one-time
when you
thing.
have people over and you want them to experience what the
Yeah, yeah.
Oculus
Right.
can do.
So
Because it's great
experience
for that.
Sweaty
Right.
palms and
Yeah,
fucking.
Yeah.
Knees
I'm all
weak,
set.
arms spaghetti, and it's only like $10, I think, or maybe it's 20.
No, it was
I don't know.
I think it was
like
20. Yeah.
Yeah.
But as far going back to the roller coasters, like I won't like carnivals like that you're taking down and putting back
These
up and every.
motherfuckers are showing up with a suitcase.
No, I'm not going to
Putting
hang
up
out behind
Ferris wheels.
like Bally Total Fitness in Revere.
Yes.
They
Yes.
go from town to town. Just fucking.
Bally's Total Fitness.
I worked there
That's
for
such
years.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh man,
Yep.
yeah.
That's how I met my best friend Kim. We hated each other at first, and we both wound up. We worked at Bally's in Revere, and we went up to Canopy Lake, and we went on the pirate ship. And there was this. We were sitting in we were sitting in the back row, I think, or the second to last row, and there was a lady on the other side who had this like super fluffy frizzy hair. So every time the ship swung back down, her hair was like
Right in your yeah.
and like all we could do was look at her hair. It was ridiculous. And we were just sitting there, we weren't even paying attention to the ride. We were just like, here comes the hair, here comes the hair.
What was that ride at Canopy Lake where it would spin around and you would stick to the wall?
The Matterhorn?
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
The Matterhorn.
Okay, I don't fuck with shit like that.
And
So I
I
don't
went-
fuck with this.
I
don't
went
fuck with
with,
certain-
I think that might have been no. I
Was
don't
it the
remember.
Turkish
I think it was the
twist?
Matterhorn
What,
or the
right?
Turkish twist.
The Turkish twist. Yes, that's right.
And right before the ride started, my man pulled down this girl's shirt.
Underwear.
So the whole not her shirt. But so the
terrible.
ride started and she couldn't
Couldn't
do
do
nothing.
it.
She was
Okay,
stuck
so
to the wall.
titties out the whole
Titties
time.
out, yo. Titties out, yo.
That's
Yeah,
dope.
yeah.
I like that.
Tits
Yeah, it
out
was
for the
pretty
Matterhorn.
funny. Yeah, tits out for Harambe, yo.
There was nothing better than being like a teenager, fucking last row of the thing. There's like hot girls on the other side. They keep letting you ride it over and over
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
pirate ship because
Yep.
it's late and there's not a lot of people there. That's the shit.
Here's the another funny thing. Like, you know, I go in these YouTube holes, right? Like, before I know it, I've watched an hour documentary on YouTube about the invention of mayonnaise. I'm like, how the fuck did I get here, right? But I was watching. Yo, for real, my recommended shit is insane.
Yeah.
But I was watching like rides, right? Now think about these rides, especially like the carnival that would come to Revere, and it would come up to your side too. It was like that traveling carnival, right?
Yeah.
That would show up, right? Yo, bro, these are like 18-year-old kids running these rides.
Yeah.
And then
Or
there
like
was
Canopy Lake or Six Flags. Like,
Connie.
these are kids
Connie, small
running that
hounds.
are responsible for the
Small
lives of like 50 human beings on this fucking death machine.
They could
Like-
care less too. They're like on their
They're
phone.
texting,
Nowadays they're probably on their phone, like,
especially they're
cranking the fucking
tweeting.
yank, whatever it is. Like,
Cranking the yank.
And like every group
Yeah.
of women had one trash bag friend that would sleep with like one of them every time they
That
came to
knew
town.
him?
To be
Really?
like,
You girls were getting down like that fucking the carnies?
not
Did
me,
you
but
know
like
someone that was fucking
every
the carny?
group, they'd like you get there and you'd be like, "Where's Sheila?"
How'd we all get in for free?
Right.
Sheila's like, oh, I got it.
You'd be going to like the water gun thing, shooting at the clown's mouth, and meanwhile Sheila's getting shot in the mouth herself.
Yes! Now it's a fucking party!
so when
That's
talked-
why we
so
had this. That's why
when
we had to have Danielle on.
When we talked about bringing you on and shit, I was like,
Fucking shit.
I was like, here's the shit, like, and you said it actually on your pod. You were like, as far as having guests,
Yeah.
you were like, here's the thing, like, I don't want to have guests and that just talked about the same exact shit on 3 podcasts before this shit, right?
Exactly.
Same question, same fucking answer, same
Yeah.
bullshit, right? So like we fell back like about a year or so purposely on having guests because we kind of made a decision we wanted to be the stars of the show.
Yeah.
And it's more special when we have a guest. That
Of
way.
course, yeah.
We didn't want to depend on other people.
Yeah. And then so like, and then so the format should just be the SOS format, right? So like we talk our shit, whatever stuff of the week. Guests could chime in.
I'm chiming. I'm ready to chime.
Oh, she chimed all right.
And this way we ain't gonna be no bullshit like radio same ass
No, there's
questions.
gonna be some bullshit.
Fuck all that noise.
It is gonna be some bullshit.
So, let me ask what you guys both think about. We thought the mask thing was going to go for a long time. It looked like August. That's what
Yeah,
initially
August
Baker
1st.
was saying, August 1st. And I think after he's seen states like New York fucking caved, a bunch of other states, I mean, Florida's already 1,000% open. There's other states that are 1,000% open. And with people like Greg Hill, and I'm sure other people, prominent people that are in the public airwaves and
a lot of
in the
pressure.
public. That's a lot of fucking pressure, 1,000%.
Yeah.
And so clearly he heard it and felt a sort of way and is caved. And now it's May 29th. 100% open, May 29th, masks off. How are we feeling about that?
Can't
wait.
wait. But I'm going to tell you right now, and I was thinking about this earlier today. This is the next fight because this is not like, oh, we're reopening, masks off, new normal. We're going back to the old ways, and everything's going to be good. Everybody's going to be happy.
it's not gonna be like that.
Because I'm already seeing people posting on social media like, I don't care if you're vaccinated and the guidelines. I'm still going to wear my mask. And I'm like,
Yeah.
for me, I'm like, you know what?
Cool.
That's
Fine.
cool. Like
Cool.
if that's
Do
your
you.
thing,
Yeah.
but good luck getting a mask on me
Yeah.
after May 29th.
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
obviously, if I'm in a required setting, like
Yeah, that's what
like,
I was going to ask, though, because private businesses are still private businesses, right? So if Walgreens wants to make you wear a
Technically,
mask, can they still make you wear the mask?
They can't. I mean, I don't think you're going to see that with big corporations because, like, I got a notification today. Stop and Shop announced that they're going to rescind the mask order when Baker rescinded
May
it effective the
29th.
29th.
I think Walmart already said it too.
Yeah, and you're going to see it more like, they have the stipulation that healthcare settings, hospitals, doctors, et cetera, but ride sharing, that sucks.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking like, I got a vaccine I didn't want and I've been wearing a mask
Well,
for
you
a
did
year.
get the vax.
I did get the
You
vax.
did.
I
You
didn't
didn't want.
I didn't want to get it.
I didn't get it,
but
yeah.
So what was the main reason that you got it?
My mom. My
Okay,
mom
yeah.
kind of guilted me into
Okay,
it. So
yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, all right, I'll do it for you. So I did, and I was fine. And like, that, knock on wood, thank God, like my second shot, I woke up the next day, I was ready to take 3 days off.
Yeah,
and I was
'cause that's
just
what
like-
I hear. That
and
second
I was
shot
like,
is when you
I'm
get
like,
pummeled.
You were good to go.
I got nothing. I didn't get
that's
a
good.
fever. I got a mild headache. That was
Knock
it.
on wood.
But you think about ride sharing in the summertime, like it's bad enough that
Yeah.
already like you get like as a female, you get all dressed up, you get your outfit on, you get your makeup on, you get your
I
hair
didn't
done,
think of that.
Oh,
Makeup
shit,
wise
never
for
even
girls.
and
thought
then
of that.
some
Yeah, never
dude
thought of
rolls
that.
up in a Camry with all 4 windows down, and you're like, "Hey, do me a favor, crank the AC, roll the windows
Yeah.
up, call me in 3.5 minutes. I'll pay the $2 a minute."
yeah.
But now I got to put a mask on.
It's hot out. There's makeup. It's a mask. It's like there's a lot
I never
going
thought
on.
of that, yeah.
Yeah.
Not to mention you can't get one.
A mask?
An Uber
Oh, an Uber.
or a Lyft.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
Shit, I ain't even gonna front for the camera. I was almost thinking about. I haven't done Uber. I did do it for like a year, like 2 years ago. I haven't done it in a grip because I fucking kind of didn't like it.
After you got no taxes back because you didn't realize you had to pay on the shit?
I probably made like like 10,000 in Uber, and they were like, now you owe 30,000. I'm like,
I was
what
like,
the
yo, Stiz,
fuck?
here's the thing. When you do it, like maybe just after every trip, put like 20, 30%.
Exactly.
And then after
shit.
that incident with the girl, I was like, oh, I don't want to do it anymore. But
You put that dash cam in yet?
no, it's sitting in the closet right there.
I'm taking it back.
But I was almost thinking about doing it because I'm like, damn, they sent me a thing the other day and it was like complete 3 trips in Boston and you get $100 bonus. So those 3 trips
nobody's doing it, like, that's an
nobody's
incentive.
doing
And
it. Yeah.
see, that sounds like get the vaccine and eat these French fries. That's what that sounds like to me. I don't like.
Wait, there are French fries involved?
Do you see that?
No.
So there's, I forget what state it is, but it's what you said.
Pizza, French
it's
fries.
incentives.
They're like, here,
Yeah.
get the vaccine and then
Real
we'll
shit.
give you something unhealthy.
So
Yeah.
there's like this,
Yeah,
this
no,
footage of this
literally,
dude on
yeah.
fucking whatever CNN, MS, whatever the fuck it is, and it's like probably 9 in the morning.
Yep.
He's in his fucking suit and tie at the desk, and he's like, literally, I forget what the partnership was. Let's say like Arby's or something, right?
Yep.
He's
I
like,
think,
yo,
They've
so
got the
I
meats.
think I do
you
remember
get
this.
free
They don't. That's
French
a fucking
fries
lie.
if you get vaccinated in whatever state it says. You get
Yeah.
free French fries at the spot.
Right.
It's
Yeah,
like,
I did see
whenever
that.
you stop pushing shit like that, I really start questioning shit. Like, you know what I mean? I don't trust it
It is
anyway.
tough to get people to do things, especially this, the anti-vaxxer thing. Like, that was like a movement
that's not,
for a
I
little
mean,
while.
when you look at targeting things like that with like fast food and stuff, like that's not even targeting the anti-vaxxers because those people are not doing
Aren't
that.
going
That's
to.
just trying to get to, because you think about it, like stuff like that is very popular. And they're trying to target the people for whom a small incentive is worth it. It's like Black Friday
such
to
a
me,
good-
right?
you're
Like
right.
you think about it. People spend
It's really not worth the
12
wait.
hours
Yeah.
in
Camping
line
out.
Yeah,
to
yeah.
save
Yeah.
$150 on
On
a
a TV,
television.
yeah.
Like if you can't afford to spend an extra $150 on that television, you should be
you're right.
buying
In
it
the first
Yeah.
place.
in the
Yeah,
first
yeah,
place.
yeah,
And
yeah.
it's like the same thing with this. They're just trying to incentivize it. Like, here, we're going to give you some fries if you get the vaccine. Like,
Yeah.
now these lazy ass people at home are like, oh, shit.
Yeah. And think that's like the lowest possible thing they could give. Like it's not even here's $100.
Yeah.
It's fucking
It's like
fries.
it's $1.19 plus
Yeah, yeah.
tax.
Speaking of $100 in incentives, did you see what Connecticut's doing?
No.
And New Hampshire.
No.
So Connecticut and New Hampshire are going to give you, because people are on unemployment and business owners are saying that it's
Yeah.
tough to get people back to work because some people are making more money with
think
the
I
extra
did hear about
$300.
this today, yeah.
Well, Connecticut and New Hampshire will now give you a $1,000 signing bonus if you go back to work for 8 weeks.
if you start a new job or something, right? Is that what it is?
Yeah, start a new job.
People
go
that are
back
on
to work.
unemployment
I don't
or
know
whatever.
If it's really, but if you're on unemployment
Yeah.
Yep.
and you go to work for 2 months,
Boom,
don't
$1,000
take
check.
unemployment that
You
you
get
know
the
for
bonus?
that 8 months of 2 months.
Yeah.
$1,000 bonus.
Where is all this money coming
Yo,
from?
I asked
Connecticut
It's
said
coming
it was
from our pocket.
Yeah, well, yeah,
No
we're
idea.
paying for it all. Yeah,
for
Connecticut said
sure.
it was coming from it was funds left over from the CARES Act, which did come from our money anyway.
Okay.
Right.
That is our taxes,
Right.
but
Well, so
I don't know.
Let me ask you this: what, if anything, what are you most excited to get back to after the 29th? Is there even a thing where you're like, I gotta be there?
Yes. 2 things. Being able to go to the gym with no mask on.
With no mask,
because
yeah.
that's insane.
Yeah.
it sucks.
That
And, you know,
sucks.
people are like, oh, you get used to it.
No.
Lifting, fine. Cardio,
Yeah.
you don't.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It
And
makes
like,
no sense. Yeah.
the way this body is, when
Yeah,
I
yeah.
eat a little food and I put on some weight,
Yeah.
either I really restrict diet wise, or I have to be super strict. And I love food. I love food,
yeah.
and it's an incentive for me. So for me, if I do some really like hard cardio, it works really well.
Yeah.
I tried it. I have tried it. I'm sitting there pulling the mask away from my face. I'm like, no, cancel, stop, wiping the machine down. I'm like, I'm out of here.
That's got to be the number one thing people are probably looking forward to is
No.
gym with no mask, right?
For me, the number one thing I'm looking forward to is being able to walk into a restaurant by myself and sit alone at the bar and have dinner without partitions between me, without having to be like, you need a reservation, without being like, you need a minimum of 4 people to eat
Yeah.
here. Like, I just stroll in on a Friday and I'm like, ooh, there's 1 seat open. I can sit there.
But do you think they're going to take those down? The partitions and everything?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Because it's full, it's no restrictions. No capacity limits are
Yeah.
gone. Everything's gone. The thing that'll be interesting, I think, because now, like, you know, restaurants in Massachusetts have spent so much money on this outdoor dining bullshit.
Yes.
Like the patios and everything
Heaters
else
and
and
fucking-
heaters.
yeah.
And like now, you know, the concern is the state going to roll back, because like in Swampscott, like for instance, on Humphrey Street, the main drag, they have all the Jersey barriers out front. And they've made like, little patios and you get the walk in the street thing, whatever.
Yeah.
So a lot of restaurant owners are worried, like, well, now that we're back open to full capacity, can we still have this extended patio situation? Are you going to let us keep that? Because they
like
spent
the
a ton of
Hanover
money.
Street, that was dope.
Yeah.
That would be awesome if they kept that for every
But if
summer.
they're going to say, like, well, you can put everybody back in your restaurant now, that was sitting there, it gives 27 space heaters, 14 outdoor tables, and like
space
6
heaters,
tents. Like,
Yeah,
what are you going
it's
to do
true.
with that? Like,
Every time I drive
Facebook
by-
Marketplace is going to be the hottest.
right. Ton of heaters for cheap.
Yeah, every time I drive by Prince Pizza on Route 1, they got the giant tent outside.
Huge.
Or Kowloon's, they got the giant thing in the back.
It could. I wonder if it ends up being a good thing for some spots. Like, so in my really beautiful town where I live now, there's like.
What? You live in a real beautiful town?
He's
I'm
looking for
sorry.
a stupid drop.
I'm
so,
sorry.
in my really beautiful town that I live at right now, there's a restaurant down the street, right? And I noticed during when the shit was all going down, they had built just had the shit built just to keep their business going. Outside, it's beautiful thing. It's like an attachment now, almost, right? And it's outside thing, and they serve out there, and it almost became like that's the shit. That's the main
That's
shit
the
now.
spot, yeah,
so
yeah.
now the other shit is open, but they still have the other spot.
Right.
They're obviously gonna keep it, and they're gonna have like the outdoor and indoor now. It's got to be long run, probably a good thing for them. But it sucked, obviously, and they probably had to spend a ton of money
A
building.
lot of money. A lot of money.
Well, I think we're missing the bigger point in this whole story. Who the fuck goes and eats by themselves?
I was gonna get.
That is
I was
so
gonna get
crazy. I could never.
love it.
No, I'd be
Because I
like,
thought you were one of them, so that's
I
how I was gonna get at
am.
it. We talked about people that either go to the movies by
movies,
themselves.
yeah,
or-
movies
I wouldn't go to the
especially. I
movies
could
by myself.
never.
That'd be
never.
weird.
I'm being a little over, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah, no, I
egregious
get it.
with the eating. I could definitely go out to eat, but
Yeah.
I'm just kind of busting balls. But it wouldn't be ideal. I wouldn't be happy about it. But
I could
mean,
never be that. Just I went one time with wifey to a movie. It was like a really bad movie, so nobody was there. Well, it must have been in theater for a long time, whatever it was. And it was just us two, and
Yeah.
we had the good seats up top or something. Way down, the mad
One
random
kid.
fatso just chilling,
Loving 50
all by
Shades of Grey.
himself. It was like the 3D shock movie. It was something like super like dude was just dolo, and I just remember thinking like. We talked about it the whole time we left. Like, what is this guy's story?
Right.
And then
Is he out to get away from the wife and kids for the
Could
night?
be. Yeah,
could
could
be,
be.
right?
Yep.
Is
Could
he
be.
the biggest virgin in the world?
Could
Maybe
be.
he just wants
Yeah.
to see that movie without a bunch of
He
people talking
really
to him.
wanted the
Well,
3D
that's-
shock movie. He's
That's
like dying
fair.
for that
That's
shit.
fair. Going back to my thing about these fucking young kids now, I refuse to go to theaters, like the past couple years, on a Friday, Saturday opening night.
You can't do it.
Because it's fucking impossible, and I lose my fucking mind. So let me save myself a possible fist fight and just not go.
Okay.
I used to be that annoying ass
Yeah,
kid.
get my
though.
ass kicked, but whatever.
We used to be loud as fuck when we went super deep to the movies like that.
Oh my lord, it annoys the shit out of me.
Yeah.
But I wanted to see that movie Free Solo so bad. That was the documentary about the kid Alex Honnold who climbed that thing in
I remember you telling me about
Yosemite. That was the
a
first and
mountain?
only time. The mountain. That was the first and only time I went to the movies by myself, and it wasn't that bad.
Oh, so you did it?
Yeah, I made a funny video though. Like
Loser.
I went and got my tickets, and I was like, I'm like, yeah, 1 ticket to Free Solo, and he's like, he's doing it. I'm like, hey, just so you know, like I have plenty of friends coming. Like I'm just getting one.
No,
Like,
you didn't say
I
that.
swear to
Wait,
God,
did
the
you?
video's on my Instagram if you dig back far enough.
Seriously.
Is it irony if you go to Free Solo alone?
Yeah, straight up, right? Yeah, I was definitely Free Soloing it, but. Yeah, whatever.
get into
I'm
stuff.
looking forward.
But listen, going back to the restaurant thing alone for a second. Like,
Yeah.
I'll do that mostly at places locally to me that like I know the staff.
Yeah,
or, like,
and you really
like,
you know a lot of chefs, and
I do, but like even beyond that, like I don't like small talk, and
who does?
and like I don't want to sit there and have to be, if I want to go to be like, all right, it's I like to go to dinner early, so like, all right, Thursday night I want to go out at 5 o'clock or 5:30, and everybody's like, oh, let's go out at 7:30, and I'm like, bitch, please.
Yeah.
So I'll just I could go to the restaurant that I want. I don't have to argue with 6 different people about where we're gonna
Bills.
go, what time.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna split the check 14 ways. I didn't drink. I had a
only had a
salad.
club
I had a
soda.
water. I had negative water because I threw up on the table. Like I can't. Like it's just
Probably Shayla.
if I all of a sudden just in my head I'm like, oh, I'm hungry. I want to go eat. I go. I sit down. I bring my iPad. I read a book. I browse the internet. and
Would you
it's great.
travel alone?
Yeah,
You would.
I would. Yeah.
The older I get, I do feel. I was actually having a conversation with
I think
my
that
aunt
comes
about how
with age.
different I think now. Yeah,
It
it
does.
definitely
It
does
does.
come. I am fucking a whole different person than I was even 5 years ago, but especially 10.
Because you go through enough bad bullshit with other people that you're like,
that
you know
might be
what
it is.
I can do. I don't need a person as a crutch.
It's
Like
true.
I can do this on my own.
It's kind of a want something done right, do it yourself kind of a vibe almost.
I'm looking forward to going. I mean, like, I'm not gonna lie. You know, dating the girl. We haven't gone out really. You know, we've gone a couple dinners or something, but I haven't
This
been
whole
to a
past
bar.
year with like COVID relationships has been like the most bizarre thing for people because it's like you can't go anywhere.
Yeah, you can't
couldn't go anywhere.
Yeah. So like, I wouldn't mind just going to McGreevy's. Oh wait, actually.
Oh, you can't.
It's fucking closed. But you know, somewhere like McGreevy's, just like a bar in Boston.
Right.
Like I just haven't bar hopped in a year
I would
and a
like to
half.
be able to go to a bar and not have to order food.
Yeah.
Like I just want to go
You
in
get
and be like,
buffalo
give me a
chicken
drink.
that you don't eat.
I forgot about that because they needed the money, so you had to order stuff.
It's not even that. The state made it a regulation that
That's
if you were
right.
going to drink, you had to have
You
food
had to
with
have
it.
food.
Like,
That's so corny. I forgot all about that.
Yeah.
Wow, that's corny.
Shout out though to the restaurants that have hung in there, like our people over at Floramo's. Carrie, she's holding
What up,
it down.
Care?
Yeah.
Newbridge holding. I mean, a lot of people have, and it was cool, kind of seeing like a place like Kowloon's that did like really innovative shit, like did that big ass screen in the back. Did you get to go to that?
I did, yeah,
Was
for
that
a bunch of
cool?
times. It was
Man,
very
I
cool.
wish
It
I
was
did.
very
I wish
cool.
I did do that, but
I
I'm
didn't
looking
see
forward
that in
to
person. I heard about it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to bars.
Okay, so I was gonna say because I feel like we might have talked about it before. As far as you, like, is it just shows basically?
Oh yeah,
in general?
concerts.
Yes.
Yeah, fuck.
Like
Yes.
even if it's like a shitty upstairs
I don't
Middle East,
care.
give me something.
I'll go to 7 upstairs Middle East shows. I don't give
I'll
a
go to
crap.
Bill's Bar right now. I don't give a fuck.
Like I
Yeah.
dragged Stiz to a show that had like 6 people at it, like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Tell him the rub though. Tell him what you really fucking did.
I made him take a picture of me with men,
Yeah.
With men?
with the band.
Yeah.
I wanted a picture with the band.
Okay.
And
It
hey, can
was
you
a-
take this picture of me?
He was so
this
mad. He was
motherfucker.
so
was heated?
bitter. He was so
Heated,
bitter.
bro.
Because
Heated.
that's when it hit him that's the reason he was there.
Yes. No,
Listen,
but that's just like the ultimate, like, you know, like, yeah.
take the
No, not even
picture.
that, but it's just like, you know, it's just like,
But this was during the height of the
just a
Popeyes
man
chicken
thing.
sandwich craze.
Okay, yeah, I remember.
Oh, yeah,
So
that's
we
right.
went to Everett, and we were in line for like 20 minutes. I mean, that line it snaked through the whole place. It was
Well, it's fucking
outside.
worth
Like
it. That was a good
people kept trying
sandwich.
to open the door and like walk past. We're like, I'm next. I'll
Yeah,
kill
yeah.
you. I'll
Yeah.
stab you.
I still don't think I've had one.
No, they are good. They are
Yeah.
good. Although I did go one time and it wasn't that good, so I don't know. Maybe you win some, you lose
They
some.
are good. I mean, I've had one that's not
Yeah,
that
no,
good.
I
I've
don't
had
know.
a
Maybe I
couple
got
that
a
were
bad
subpar.
one. Yeah, because you know what I don't like with chicken when you get that piece that has
That
that
piece in the
hard
corner
tendon
that-
or something. Yes,
You gotta cut that right out.
fucking worse,
Yep.
dude.
Terrible.
So yeah, concerts. I saw Stained in Corn coming in
going.
August. Yeah,
I'm going.
I'm gonna be at that show, and then yeah, I've seen a couple good shows coming at the end
New
of the summer.
Kids
so
coming
I'm
to
gonna be-
Fenway.
Yeah,
Are
New
they?
Kids on the
August
block.
6th.
Molly
yeah.
Crew canceled the whole shit with Def Leppard, and then a week later, shows came back everywhere.
Like,
Oh, really?
yes.
Yeah, like fuck.
All right, Snuk. What else? What do you want to get into
get into some
besides?
stuff.
Go ahead, go. What do you got?
Just in I don't know. I didn't see this on the doc. When I see her name, I got to get right to it.
Okay.
Why did you say Mariah Carey hating ass?
Oh, Mariah Carey is a hating ass
What?
Why,
motherfucker.
though?
All right, so Snuk is the biggest Mariah Carey. They're called lambs, just so
could say
you
lame,
know.
it's
Okay.
I wish it was a more manlier thing to be
It's
called,
all right.
but whatever.
You're fine.
Yes. All right, so I'm going to show you why. So this kid, he's a rapper from somewhere, I don't know,
Okay.
young kid.
Oh, I think I know where you're going with it.
He posted this song where he took one of her older songs,
Okay.
made like a little remix to it, and said Mariah Carey has 24 hours to respond. All right, we'll put the video up.
Oh, I didn't
I'll
know
show
that
you
they
guys.
had
that. All right, I see. All right.
I don't care. This is a vibe. Ready?
By the time you see me spin your bitch, I already two shot pop pop split.
So instead of shake it off, he
So
says
it's
let it off.
So
like
it's the
the
shake it
dog.
off melody.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Right? Here
With
comes
some
the
hood ass
hood.
lyrics.
Here comes the hood.
And you know I'm about to let it out.
So you're gonna let it off instead of shake it off. All right.
Okay.
And the video, you know, he's got the it's good quality.
Yeah.
Right? All right. So he posts that. He says, "Yo,
don't
Mariah."
hate it.
Yeah, I don't hate it. And I was like, "Oh, good for you." I especially like that the quality was good. Right?
Yeah.
The quality was good. I could see if it was like a real backyard video.
No,
you
but
know,
that was
realize,
good.
I didn't
Yeah, it
realize
was.
MC responded. I see because I
So-
follow a lot of shit. All the lambs are like getting out and like, yo, what's up with this?
So he
Yeah.
posts that little snippet of the song, says Mariah Carey has 24 hours to respond. Probably never thinking in a million
Right.
years
Yeah,
that this
yeah,
Mariah
no.
Carey is going to see this. Not only does she see it,
What
she
does she say?
responds, "How about you have 24 hours to respond to my lawyer.
Copyright infringement.
Fired, yo.
I love
That's
it.
hilarious.
I love
though.
it. Well, when you write the melody and the words and they
What
took the
the
melody.
Shut the fuck up.
Wow, that's crazy, yo.
It's still a great look for them.
However, I'm
Yeah, it is a great look for them.
I'm curious. I mean, I'm sure she has like an amazing legal team.
Oh, I'd
but
imagine.
devil's advocate here. I'm wondering if somehow that falls under fair use because it's technically parody,
Technically could be called parody.
right?
Yeah.
But it's the exact same melody. I'd have to hear the music part, but vocally it's the same melody.
Yeah, no, I think they probably just ripped the instrumental from YouTube and went over it, but
I
don't know.
Yeah. Still a great look for them.
Interesting.
That
Yeah.
shit like that is never a bad look for that person.
Right. Yep.
Right?
Yeah, I
Who gives
never
a
would have.
fuck?
Yeah, I never would have.
What are you going to take? How much percent of nothing are you going to take
Yeah,
from me?
yeah. But I
Get
don't
the
know.
fuck outta
It's like,
here.
good luck.
I
Yeah.
would have thought it was cooler if she was like, "Yo, this is actually pretty cool. Check it
Yeah.
out." You know what I mean? I don't think she, or who knows? Maybe she had a couple wine cocktails or wine coolers and was just like being funny.
Shit,
And
for
we
that-
don't know.
cocktails.
See,
Like,
for that, I should have tagged her in the MC shit that I did then. I didn't even, I
you
never
never
want to
know.
be that dude.
You never know
Right.
who's
You know?
out there.
You don't know.
You
Yeah.
never know. All right, let's get serious, semi-serious for a little bit. This happened this morning, and with Danielle Murr here. For anyone that doesn't know, in case you've been living under a fucking rock for the past 15 years, Danielle Murr.
I must have dated you then.
Famous from the Greg Hill Show, the Hillman Morning Show on WA. 15 years you were with Greg.
Would've been 16 this
co-hosting
summer,
the morning
yeah.
show. So this is a radio story, so I'd be curious to hear your take on
Okay.
it. So this morning, Twitter was all abuzz. People were saying, Matty in the morning, just quit on air. Kiss 108's Matty in the morning.
He pulled an LB.
Yeah, that was fucking epic when LB quit. But apparently Matty Siegel,
Yep.
they were talking about a story about Demi Lovato. Demi Lovato came out and said that I am not.
She's non-binary
She's
now.
non-binary.
Yeah.
Does that mean she is not a male or a female,
So
or
that-
she is
that-
both male and
Because I won't
female?
lie, I never know when I hear it.
Yeah. I don't know what it
Non-binary
means, really,
means
yeah.
you don't identify with either gender. So she's using the they them pronouns, which
Okay.
I respect the trans community. I have a
Yeah,
couple
yeah, of
close
course.
friends that are trans, but from a grammatical standpoint,
It's wrong.
For me to use
you.
they them as a singular, it's frustrating because
Yes,
I'm like
super
but it's
frustrating.
plural.
Yeah,
Yes.
But
Plural.
Yeah.
if you're going to be someone that tells me that these are my preferred pronouns, I respect
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
use
yeah,
them.
yeah.
And I respect all that shit too. My thing was, so I actually watched the video that she dropped on Twitter.
Yes.
There was like, she dropped a
Yep.
thing explaining it or whatever. And to me, it just seems like it was more about like her like fans kind of or who relate to that or
Yeah.
whatever. And it wasn't like her personally.
They call that woke fishing.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. Like, so am I supposed to call her they? Because I'm gonna call her.
Well, you're not. Yeah,
'Cause
so you wouldn't be able
she's
to
not
say
even
like
a
she's a
trans
good
person.
singer.
Like if they're like if I did know a trans person that was like going through some shit and they were really doing the whole thing, like I would call them what they want me to call them. But like to just be like it's like a blanket statement she's doing like
She's just abandoning everything, essentially.
I guess yeah.
All right, I want to play a little bit of this Matty thing.
But I'm gonna call her
It
because
went
she's
on-
a her. I don't know. Like
Yeah.
I get it.
All right, hold on. Here's some of
They
this.
pulled the plug on me and they said, you cannot talk about what you're talking about. And again,
Audio not the best.
I like my boss personally. I do. I'm very fond of him. He's been very nice to me. It's not personal. It's professional. He said he doesn't want me talking about this. So basically, if I talk about right-wing, like if I'm left-wing and I go anti-Trump, I get in trouble. Then today, I was anti-quote-unquote wokeness, and I can't do that. So basically what I'm told is I can talk about light, funny things and where the Jonas Brothers are going to be, but I can't do what I really want to do, which is just be a funny comic.
Kind of have a problem with him calling himself a comic, though.
He's thinking.
Nah, he does that.
I'm
He thinks of himself as
my
that.
portion of the radio show right now, and I don't know if
I'm with him so far.
I really don't. I just want to say that I love my listeners. I'm gonna cry, actually. I love you, and it's been a hell of a run, but I think it's coming to an end.
All right, there's another minute left in this.
They don't have real audio of it.
I hate putting you
No, I mean maybe
No,
I
because
could have
it
went
was
to
never
Kiss 108.
posted to the
They
website.
Oh
scrubbed it,
yeah,
right?
that's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, they never.
They never
posted
posted
that.
The real
to
shit is in the
website.
second half. He's when he's
Yeah,
like
he
fucking-
starts going on and he starts saying shit like, I'm the biggest thing in Boston since, and I got rich over saying what. I won't lie, me personally, like I thought there was a little air of douchebagginess to that, which Matty has earned his right to have that air
He's
of
entitled.
douchebagginess. Yeah. I'm just calling a spade and say that I thought there was a little
sentence or two that were a little
douchebagginess.
Little bit. But overall, I mean, what did he say that was really that crazy?
Here's the thing. I think that people need to realize and understand that, like, this isn't a podcast. And as big as Matty is,
1,000%, yeah.
he works for iHeart.
Yeah.
They're beholden to their shareholders. I kind of look at this as like, back on AAF, I used to call LB an asshole, or I'd call somebody an asshole on the air, and people would text in and be like, "You can say asshole on the air." There's a certain amount of wiggle room based on your timing, the content of the station, things like that.
You knew how to ride the fence, per se.
Exactly. So when
and the context too. Sometimes you could say words,
Right.
depending on what context it is.
Well, you could call someone a pussy,
Right.
but you couldn't say "eat my pussy."
Exactly.
Right,
You know
because
what I mean?
anything that depicts a sexual act or like a bodily function is banned by the FCC. So that's where you have to be careful. But I could get away with being like, oh, don't be an asshole once in a while.
Yeah.
Going over to EEI, not as much because they were a little bit more strict about that stuff. You have to look at what Matty's demo is. It's women. It's not men 25 to 54.
Right,
Matty, I don't know what the age is, or I don't know if he's really adults, but it's like, it's more of a soccer mom demo.
Yeah.
And,
It's the exact
they
demo,
have to be careful. And, and there are people, in the market in the past that have just completely flouted whatever company they work for, and they don't care. And they're like, I'm going to speak my mind. And that's fine. And you move on and you do a private entity or a podcast or something else, and you have that freedom.
Kirk Minahan.
I did not say
Your
that.
boy, this is man.
But this is what happens with big companies is that you are under a certain amount of restrictions, and if they feel that what you're saying is effectively going to damage the brand or cause harm to it, then of course they're going to try to rein you in.
I totally get all that shit.
Yeah, I get all
as I'm
that
sure
too.
we
That's
all
FM.
do.
That's radio.
But I'd be lying if I said that I didn't think we are we're moving a little too fucking much with this woke culture. I definitely feel like that, and I feel
You
like
can't say anything anymore.
Yeah.
No matter how
context
how,
has just gone out the fucking window. Like it doesn't matter
Yeah.
anymore. Like
No.
you know what I mean? Like we're living in
tough.
this
It's
time
very
where
tough.
where people will go to a comedy show and then write in print a joke that they heard, and it's just there's no context, there's no nuance to it. Everything is lost, and it's and people lose jobs over it. And sometimes I'm for it. Listen, I'm all for wanting to live in a better place. You know what I mean? Who doesn't? And I'm all for people treating people how they feel and all that shit. But I don't know. Maybe I don't understand it enough, and so maybe I'm being ignorant. But just this non-binary thing. I was reading a thing the other day that said there's now 33 genders or something like that, and I'm where the fuck? What the fuck are we doing? What are? There's a man and a woman. Do you have a dick or do you not have a dick? And I think
you do not have a dick.
I do not have a dick.
I don't know what you call that shit.
And I totally get you can have a dick, but inside maybe you don't have hormones or you have too much estrogen. I mean, I don't know the physiology stuff of it, but that you can feel legitimately like a woman, and I get that.
I think
totally get
as
that,
we
but-
move on in time, I think there's a very interesting fine line whereby we're able to understand certain things better and diagnose certain things better because of science, because of psychology. I had talked about my podcast before that I was diagnosed with ADHD, and when I tell you the number of people that reached out to tell me that they were diagnosed after the age of 40, because back in the 80s it was you get a bad kid, your kid's hyper, your kid's an asshole, whatever. But now they have better things. So it's just.
But can I push back a little bit on you
Yeah, of
and
course.
just ask, right? Just playing devil's advocate and a little pushback, because I do happen to think this a little bit. Do you think that doctors today are way too quick to say, you have ADHD, you should be on Ritalin, fucking Prozac, whatever, because I do feel a little bit these doctors are prescribing these kids just way too quick to be oh, just throw them on fucking medicine, throw them on pills.
Well, that's always been the case with kind of everything. You look at the painkiller epidemic, the opioid epidemic.
There's a great thing on HBO
that's
right now.
Right. That's been a huge issue where people are doctors are too quick. But it's both ends of the spectrum. You have doctors that are yep, here's a script, go away, leave me alone. But then you have doctors that are either overly concerned or worried about liabilities, and they're you're doctor shopping for a prescription. So the problem is right now, and this is part of the reason why, like, the last month I've kind of taken a step back from life and everything and kind of gone into a shell is because everything is saturated. Every single thing is saturated. Every social media outlet, every news outlet, every story, everything that's happening. There's so much to process on a daily basis.
There really is. Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, there really is.
And, you know, people sit back and they're like, oh, don't be a pussy. You can't handle the news. And it's like, you have stuff coming at you. You can't take a break from it. Like if you know, obviously COVID has made things a little different now. But, you know, with the advent of smartphones and email, you're expected to be on the clock
all the time.
24/7. You can't ever disconnect from your work.
Joe's working right now as we speak, literally.
You piece of shit. I told him don't do that during the show. When Danielle is here, do not be doing this. Here's the thing, right? So, no politics involved because I don't fuck with politics. I can't stand the shit. So, but if you have, I guess I would be considered very liberal in most areas of shit, right? So I don't give a fuck what you are, as far as shit like that, right? But this just said 33. I'm like, so somebody like me, like I'll give you 3, you know, trans, this, that, the other.
But that's not even
we're looking
at
3 or 4 or
think.
5. Like, still, what do you mean 33?
Yeah.
How was there 33 genders? Like, I don't even understand.
There's just a lot of you find this a lot now in college applications and things like that, where you can pick all these descriptors. And I haven't looked into it enough to really understand what all the descriptions are. You know, I see all kinds of varying commentary from a lot of different people that I know that are more liberal about that stuff, and I try to understand it just to see, you know, whether or not you agree with it. It's just kind of, it's always interesting to me to say, like, okay, like, this may seem nuts to some people, but, like, let me at least try to understand what the background is, where this came from, and form my own educated opinion, whatever that might be, you know?
No, I get it. I just, 33, I don't.
Everything's saturated.
You know what?
No, that's true. So that was the other thing. Is 33 an actual number? It might not be.
Right.
Like I don't know. I don't know where you saw that or whatever, or where you heard that. But like, I tell Stiz all the time when he tells me a story, I'm like, well, hey, where is it from? And like, what is the fucking headline? And like,
well, you know, it's kind of like not to get into a political thing, but you know, like during the Trump presidency, you would see people sharing articles from like, you know. They'd be like, can you believe this? It's like left-wing people that hate Republicans, GFYyourmother.com.
Yeah,
you know, and you're like,
it's true. It's true. Yeah.
What is this website? I don't
That's this weird thing that we've come to, right? With Twitter, you'll get into an argument with someone, they'll be like, well, where are you getting that information? And then you say, maybe you post CNN or whatever, and then whatever it is. Oh, well, you trust that? You know,
exactly,
and it goes both ways.
You can say that for either.
Yeah,
that used to happen to me on the radio all the time because we talk about a news story and people would be like, can you send me that story? And I would just Google and find like whatever the top one was just to send the info. I'm like, I don't care about the bias. I'm just letting you know that this is a news article. Like, oh, CNN, typical liberal. And I'm like, here's an article from Fox News stating the same thing.
That always made me laugh, the people that would give you guys shit. And I mean like you and Greg as a collective, you know, but would get on you guys that would call and would be like, you fucking liberal pussies. I'd be like, bro, are you listening to the show? Like,
do you
know who's hosting the show? Or
I had a guy comment. God, it was after I left. It must have been like I think it was right before I left. So it was a couple months ago. Yeah. And he had commented on like a couple of. It was a total non sequitur because he like
Danielle
commented
was bad
on
with
Instagram.
Texters too, bro. She'd know where your mother lived.
I know everything about you.
Yo, she
like
was
3
bad.
seconds. Like I'll segue for a second because there was a guy that was just being a real dick one day, and he was just saying like really inappropriate, insulting stuff. So I looked up his number.
On the text?
Yeah, okay. And I got the information, and like I got his mother's name. So I'm like, I don't think Connie would approve of you saying these things.
What would Phyllis say?
Right, exactly. And he's like, how would management feel about you stalking me? I'm like, you just called me the C word in a text message. I'm a complete stranger.
Don't even know you.
You texted a radio station and called some woman the C word. I'm like, I have every text you've ever sent. Please, by all means, email management.
And I think a lot of them too don't know that like they're like saved and like
exactly
the
like
database
you can see every, and then you know they'll be like, I haven't listened to the show in 6 months. I came back today. You still suck. And I'm like, that's funny because you've texted every single day for the last 6 months. That's really topical and weird.
What was the other story you were gonna say before you segued, or was that it about the?
No.
Come on, Jules, get it together.
Oh yes. So this guy commented on a couple of my posts.
Should have at least how to make us drinks.
Check, yes.
I know, right?
Jesus Christ.
So he had it was like a post of a kitten or something. And so the guy comments and he's like, you're such a Trumper. And I was like, what show are you listening to? And I'm, and I don't get like super deep into politics, but I was certainly not, like a big Trump supporter by any means at all.
Snuk, what was the question that you had? It was in one of your like Danielle questions that what was it? You were telling me earlier about like, was there any topic that when it came up,
I was curious. I was curious what your least favorite like if something came up,
you were like,
whether it was
Jesus.
AF or EI, whatever.
Sports. No, I'm just kidding.
In general, just sports.
Yes.
Like if something came up.
Now we're partying.
Just the subject came up and people started talking, and just in your head, you're like, fuck, I gotta talk about this shit now. Like
anything that was divisive in the news, because...
See, that's how I am on here, and Stiz loves to get right into the politics shit.
I love it.
And because I always think Rarudos
Rarudo,
buy my shit too.
Good job.
So like, it's like, especially if something's gonna be half and half, right? Like, I know Rarudos that like buy my shit that I don't agree with none of their shit, or like they give me spins and shit.
Right.
So like, I don't want to fuck that up.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But like it goes back to what we just talked about a little while ago with out of context, because you could explain something like in great detail on the air about your personal thoughts about something, or you would try to, explain something, and people take what they want.
Which you always did a great job at too.
Thank
by the
you.
way. Yeah.
I did my best.
Yeah.
But people always hear what they want,
Always.
regardless.
Yeah.
And they frame you out to be a certain way. So, we've, over the last, 2 years, obviously, the last 4 definitely, but, specifically the last 2, there's been a lot of divisive stuff coming up with political stuff, White House stuff, BLM, all kinds of violence, police things. And, we never really had a long form to be able to get into super deep discussions about it. And, the morning show was really, the goal was to be funny and make people laugh. Because for the most part, you're driving to work or you're driving someplace.
That's what I want out of a morning show.
Right. And it's very important to discuss those topics. It is very important to talk about them and understand them. But you had to do it in a very delicate way. And
I think it's weird to just drop them in when you only have like a 7-minute segment or whatever.
You can't do it. You can't cover it. So,
but at the same time, you kind of got to, right? Because
if you don't talk
can't
about
ignore
it,
the
then
elephant in the room, right? You know what I mean? Like the fucking, oh my God, Jesus Christ, George Floyd. That George Floyd can't happen.
Yeah, you can't.
And then the next day you don't mention it.
So there's some things you can't even. So even if you're on the sports channel, you gotta.
You have to address it. It's a national issue. It's a worldwide issue, really. But you would have, to bring that up, Stan. Like, we would get into the show. Typically, the format of the show, whether it was AAF or EI, is we would kind of come in and do 10 minutes and just kind of do intros, and then we would get into stories and things later in breaks. But people would text at like 6:02 the second we came out of the show.
Hey, how come you're not talking about?
How come you're not talking about this? And I'm like, bro, the mics aren't even on yet. Like,
that's Jules in the A block. You guys, why haven't you talked about Alex Trebek yet?
The fucking kid was obsessed with Alex Trebek. All right, let's get a little light for a second. Now I know you two weirdos are gonna be all over this. Ooh. Me, on the other hand, me and my smart, intelligent mind. I was like, these.
Hi, I'm Danielle. Who are you?
So, 60 Minutes did a whole special the other night. 60 Minutes on UFOs and about how the government, and in fact, Obama, there's audio of Obama the other day. He was asked something about UFOs, and he basically said, like, listen, there are things flying around in our sky that we do not know what they are. And
why is this?
That's real deal Holyfield.
No fucking dirt.
I do not believe they're aliens.
Stiz is I think of Stiz in general. I think in general, Stiz is an intelligent person.
Yes.
Like, I really think that. It's intelligent as me, maybe not, but I do think that he's an intelligent person.
Yes.
So when an intelligent person doesn't think that that's a real thing, it's weird to me.
Now, this is what I like to ask when people say that they don't believe in extraterrestrial life or things like that. Stan, what do you consider, when you think of alien, do you think of like a little green man from a movie? Do you think of a carbon-based life form?
I do not believe intelligent life has gotten to the point where they're able to bypass the speed of light, which is what they would need to do to get here.
And you think,
like,
you live with the morons on this planet every day. You don't think there's anything more intelligent than us out there?
Yeah. Well, do I think that there is microorganisms probably on some planets? Yeah, absolutely. But no, I don't think intelligent life like us or better than us are fucking.
So what else do you
whizzing
need for the
by
proof?
Earth.
The actual green man?
He wants
Like,
to see a human on another planet, basically.
I
like
guess,
speaking
but
a
they're not
different
going to
language.
look or whatever.
No,
like,
I don't
my
care what they
man,
look like.
there's video
It looks like a
footage
telephone
of
pole.
things going like this in
Yeah.
the speed of light. That's not a human thing.
Here's the thing, like, so, you know, everyone always argues, like, the Drake equation, I think it's called, where it says, like, the universe is so vast that the probability of there not being intelligent
Right.
life is almost, like, slim to none, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I would
another
argue
obvious
that time, in the same way that the universe is so vast, I think that time is so vast, right? So just us, right? If you just look at just us, right? Like the past 100 years. But even let's just say human civilization, right? Which is what? I don't know, 100,000 years, would you say maybe? I don't even know. Is that way too
We
much?
have
Not
no
even a
idea.
little bit.
Let's
Way
be
too
realistic.
much.
You're way too big of a window.
Way too, yeah. All right. So anyway, that sliver of time is so. You
Right.
know what I mean? So aliens could have been way before us and have wiped themselves out or got hit by an asteroid.
they're
or
here right now, though.
Coming,
We just saw videos of
maybe where. No, but they're not. You can't say that.
Let me
they're
ask you
not
this.
proven that they. We don't know that. We don't know what they are.
You don't know that.
It could be no. They don't know that. The government
they
has
know
said
that.
they don't know what it is. So it very well could be a Russian drone or a Chinese drone or something. Some other country has a technology that we don't know what it is.
Do you believe that time is linear in that it is going on this path, it goes forward, and that's it? Or do you think that there are potential situations where,
Like loopholes,
right, loopholes or like parallel universes,
warps,
existences,
yeah.
things like that? Like, I mean, we experience time in a linear fashion, in that
Yeah.
it goes. We have
So
we
it's
have our
hard for
system
me to
as seconds,
imagine
minutes,
it any
hours.
other way,
Right.
just because that's how I experience
Yeah.
it. So like I don't even know what that would feel like or seem like. Interstellar. You ever see that movie Interstellar?
No.
Oh, it's such a great movie. You would love that because it really that's the whole point of it.
But like when former presidents and shit tell you there's like things that I can't tell you.
Right.
But he didn't say there's things that I can't tell you. He just said there are things that we've captured, things flying in our atmosphere that we can't identify them yet. And so I
Right.
just think
So
it's a
shouldn't they
jump.
be able to
I think
identify
it's a
them?
jump to say aliens. You know, like
Well, what
I don't
else?
know. I don't know if it's aliens.
It's clearly not human though. So what else would
No,
you
it's
call
not.
it?
It's not clearly not human. There's no evidence. Well, I mean, I guess you could say that
There's
they're moving
humans out
in ways
there
that.
fucking going like this, zoom, zoom.
Yeah, so that's what I was. I guess you can say
Fuck
that
outta
they're
here.
they're
They're on
moving in
drugs.
ways that we don't know. But I don't know. I'm just not ready to call them aliens yet. And if gun to my head, swear to God, gun to my head.
But
I'm
you
saying
believe
no.
in the paranormal.
No, I don't.
That's the whole shit that I would fuck with him about.
No,
I'm like,
no, I don't.
Then I
don't?
know- But then I
love
found
it.
out he
I
don't.
love it.
But you don't
I'm
believe
super
in it?
So this is the weirdest
interested
thing.
in it. No, I don't
this
believe
is,
in ghosts.
This is the weirdest
No.
thing about Stiz. So
No,
he's this
not
big
at all.
horror guy and all this shit, right? I assumed he fucked with spirits. He fucked with
Yes.
all this shit, right?
None of
And
it.
you
don't
don't
believe in
believe in it?
any of it.
None of it. No. I know
It's
you
just-
love the shadow people.
It
but
makes
no, I
no
think you're
sense
crazy.
to me. It
No, I
makes
don't
no
love
sense
the
to me.
shadow people. They torture
know, I
me for
hate
years.
them.
They suck.
No, I don't believe in
Everything
none of
in
that
his
stuff.
house is like
No.
horror and like
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
weird.
seriously.
I believe that when I believe it's like a light bulb. Unfortunately, that
That's it,
when when
done.
you die, that's it. It's just I think people talk soul and consciousness. It's just I believe that it's just your brain. I think that the brain is just a very powerful thing. There's a bunch of synapses flying around back and forth, and I think it's just like a light bulb. And I think when people say, "Well, what do you think it feels like when it dies?" I think it feels like before you were born. That's what I think it feels like.
And what the
I mean?
fuck does that feel like?
Yeah,
You don't know.
nothing. You just cease to exist. You don't know. When you die, you just die. That's it. And I think like all these if people say that
can't
they
wait to
had,
haunt
yeah, please do. I would love it.
That shit got nothing to do with them real ass aliens that's flying around right now. There's some real ass shit
This
going on.
Rarudo.
This fucking Rarudo. First footage
we'll
from
see.
Hulu's Pam and Tommy revealed,
I'm down to see. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this.
which got me thinking.
Is it a documentary though?
I
Is
know.
it like
I
a
don't
doc,
think.
or
No,
is
it's
it
like a movie. They look like it's actors. playing it.
Okay.
Which got me thinking, what was for both of you, and I think too, the very first like celeb sex tape that you
For me, it was
saw.
Pam and Tommy.
Maybe
For me, it was.
Yeah,
Pam
because
and
I think
Tommy.
that might have
on the boat. Remember, she's fucking
right on the boat. That's right.
Yeah.
Or Paris. It's depending on your age too. Like
Yeah,
Yep.
Paris.
One night in
but that
Paris.
what was like the
earlier.
earliest one that
later.
you
That was
remember,
later.
or like that you actually like gave a fucking like sought out?
I don't think Danielle. I think
I have never seen a celebrity sex tape.
Not
What?
any. Not any.
Not Kardashian, not Paris, not
this
Pam
girl
and Tommy.
who
But
I
hold
know
on.
you watch crazy
So I was gonna say,
porn.
but you do
have
watch
never
porn,
Been,
Yeah.
but
you've
just
never been
but you never
curious?
fucked with the celebrity
No.
section.
Nope.
Okay. I wonder
Paris
is it not
Hilton cannot give head. Well, I'll say
is
that.
it not as interesting for
Horrible.
a female to check out a female's like meaning if it was like whatever was the most popping like male celebrity when
No.
you were that age? Would you have sought that out more?
No, it's just I don't know. I don't have that like. I kind of liken it to like reality TV because I'm not big into like celebrity TV shows and stuff like that. So for me, it's like. Like, okay, you did a sex tape. Okay, this guy did this to you. Like, oh, Ray J did. Oh, look at him. He's pulling it. Oh, okay, you know.
So
but
you've
like,
never seen one?
No.
So I'm the exact opposite. So like,
seen all of them?
to the point where like when I find out that Mini-Me drops a porn.
Oh yeah, I watched that.
I'm on that shit.
It might be
I'm like,
tough now.
I'm like, no, he fucking did it, and I'm on it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Have you ever paid for one?
Never in my life
Okay.
would I ever do that.
All right.
Nah. Even back when I was fucking young and it was like Paris or Pam and Tommy or whatever.
No. Well,
Pam
luckily
and Tommy,
we've
how did we
always had
see
the
Pam and
internet.
Tommy? Was that like DVD era?
It might have been. Yeah, it might have been like
wasn't-
VHSs
It wasn't
floating
VHS.
around.
It was flea market era. It was
Or
like-
back in the day, Danielle, you may remember growing up in Eastie, we had Cablevision, and you had the Spice channels
I
on like
remember
22B
Cablevision.
or something. There was like a B side.
It was scrambled.
I remember Scrambled
But then
Spice.
after 11 o'clock, you could hear it.
Scrambled
Yeah,
Spice was
could
lit.
hear it.
Yeah, I forgot about Scrambled Spice.
Yeah, you're like, oh, is that a nipple or an elbow?
Yeah,
I don't know, but I'm looking. I'm jerking off to it, whatever it is.
It's a butt.
Love that word, but. So I'm glad that
I
you
want to
said
see
it.
that though because I'd definitely be curious to hear of like the juicy little details that I didn't know about them two as a
Yeah.
couple.
Yeah,
'cause
yeah.
That shit must have been crazy.
It's on Hulu, which is one of the 37 things that I have right now. so
Yeah,
I'll be
me
seeing
too.
it.
Yeah, I fucking cut cable and like now I'm paying
Now it's
just
even
as
more
much.
expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Stiz got cable, immediately bought, it was YouTube TV at
Yeah.
first, right?
Yeah.
Then Netflix, then
HBO
Hulu,
Max,
then,
Netflix,
I wanted him to
everything.
watch something that was very specific. It was like one thing, right?
Yeah.
Next thing you know, he's got
The
like
John Gacy documentary.
John Gacy. Now he's got WWE Network. He had like every single
Peacock.
thing. He's paying way more than
Yeah.
Xfinity price.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Yo, I saw this on Twitter. Danielle, you know all these people, so I think you'll be kind of mind blown by this fact.
Okay.
All right, ready for this
Yes.
sentence? I just thought it was a crazy fact that I
Okay.
wanted to share with you guys.
Okay.
T-Pain
Yep.
is just 1 year older than Bow Wow, little Bow Wow,
Whoa.
and he's younger than J. Cole.
Whoa.
T-Pain is only
Whoa.
1 year older than little Bow Wow.
That's it?
That's a sweet spot.
Only 1 year, yeah.
The Bow Wow thing
And
I can
he's
see.
younger than J. Cole. So J. Cole is older than both of them.
Yeah, J. Cole's in his 30s,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
30 what?
But
4,
T-Pain
35.
is younger than that. And he's only a year, I guess that's the crazy part, that he's only a year
Than
older than
Bow Wow.
Bow Wow.
That's what I
me,
can't
who
wrap
I
my
always
head
would
around.
just think
I
was
still
just
think
like
of him as a
20.
kid.
See, that's
yeah,
why.
yeah.
To me, that's not the crazy thing because we've known Bow Wow since he was literally like 5 years old
Yeah.
or some shit. Like literally, like that old on my like on TRL. Like, come on, a fucking Bow Wow video was on. That's mad. That's like 20 years ago. That kid is mad young.
That's
still.
terrifying to think of that.
I know it's kind
Ah.
of crazy. I know.
He's done all right with being in the public eye his whole
yeah.
life. Yeah.
Romeo just tweeted Masterpiece son Romeo, also a child star at the same time as Bow Wow.
I don't think I realized that was Masterpiece's son.
Certainly
Lil
not
Romeo,
as big
yeah.
as Bow Wow, but yeah.
Something about doing a verses. We talk about verses on the show a lot. Are you familiar with the verses thing that they do on Instagram?
No.
It's like it started during quarantine when there couldn't be any shows anymore. Swiss Beats and Timbaland started it. It's like take this group or this act, you play your 20 best songs against this. It's essentially a battle.
Okay, yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Right?
yes, yes. I have
but
heard of this.
through only on Instagram Live. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but then they got a deal now.
Yeah,
It goes
no.
through Apple TV and Triller.
Okay.
It's a whole thing now, right? But like, he was basically challenging Bow Wow to that shit, and Bow Wow's like,
Bow Wow would mop the
You
floor
don't want
with
this.
him.
Bow Wow would
Yeah,
mop the
yeah,
floor
yeah,
because
yeah.
Jermaine Dupri, whatever. Who, if you could watch a versus, because you're not super hip hop head
Right.
like me and Stiz. If you were to have a versus, like, and they're like literally there, like, and now the way they do it is like they're like sitting next to each other on this couch, on this couch.
Yep.
They hit play, like what can you beat with that song? And then the fucking next people play their fucking and people with crazy catalogs. So now we're down to 20 crazy records, right?
Yes.
Like, what would be the craziest versus battle for you to watch
Oh,
or
God,
to,
I don't
to
even
enjoy
know.
as a fan?
I don't even know.
Like we
That-
had Snoop Dogg versus DMX was not too long
And
ago.
they've
That was
become
a
now
really
more
good one.
about like less of a battle and more of like just
Celebration
how
of
entertaining it
songs.
and
Right.
like celebrating
Right.
these dope records and shit. Like, I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know off the top of my head. I would have to think about that one.
All right, how's this though? Who's like you're really into the heavier, like the heavy metal type rock type
Yes.
of shit? Give me like one of your more favorite rock bands.
Kill Switch Engage.
Kill Switch Engage. All
Yep.
right. What if they battled Korn?
So I'm not a huge Korn fan.
Oh, no?
So like I'm going to the show
Okay,
when it
yeah,
comes
yeah.
to Xfinity Center, but like I'm not like a massive. In fact, when my friend Kristen reached out and she's like, she sent the little, the concert poster, and it was like, I'm like, oh, Korn. I'm like, oh, Fire from the Gods. I'm like, I love them. I'd like to go see them. I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah,
but-
that's the opener. Yeah, I don't know who they are. They
They're
got a
great.
couple
They're
good records?
fantastic. Yeah,
All
they're
right,
really,
cool.
really good. But I'm like, do I have to stay for Standing Corn? Like,
Oh, come on.
they're
How
great,
dare you
but-
about
Spain,
Aaron
too.
Lewis? How
It's just,
dare you?
I don't know.
They're on the same show?
Not my favorite.
Yeah,
Yes.
Korn and Stain.
That's weird, right?
I will say that
But
I
is it
saw
Stained, or
Korn.
is it your boy sitting on the couch
No,
again?
it's
No, it's Stained. It's full Stained.
You realize
Yeah,
this
yeah.
paid $20 to watch a dude on his couch strumming.
Aaron.
I know.
Yeah. And then he whined like a...
This is after Stiz like threw him away.
Of course.
Yeah, I have a
Of course.
love-hate relationship with Aaron Lewis because...
After he said, "Speak America."
Yeah, I can't stand him. But I will say...
Talk America, you
I
know we're in
saw Korn
Texas.
3 summers ago maybe, when WAF put on the concert.
They put an
and
amazing
man,
show on.
I was glad that I went. I'll tell you that.
I went, I want to, oh God. So I was working for the station. I want to say like 06, 08 maybe-ish around there, probably about 08. It was at Xfinity Center. I was with Canty, and we went, and we were right up in the front, general admission in the pit, off to the left side of the stage. And I was like, ugh, I don't want to deal with all this stuff, but let's go peek up. We'll get a couple of pictures and hear a couple songs, and then we'll go run to the bathroom and grab a drink. So it was right at the beginning of their set, and some kid gets punched in the face, and I get bled on, like all over me.
Straight white people shit.
Big time. So I'm like, I don't know what the hell this kid has. I gotta go to the bathroom. And it was like,
hate that.
it was under my wristband. And like we had been, I think we were sitting in like one of the VIP boxes. I think our mutual friend John Dooley from Echo Store had given me his tickets. So
You had them good seats.
I had them good seats. I was very fortunate. Thank you, John. But you also get like a little beer garden and private bathrooms to go into.
Yeah.
But you need the wristband.
Which is amazing.
So I'm like, I'm not keeping this bloody ass
Yeah.
wristband on my hand. So I ripped it off, and I'm like, oh, that was a dumb
When you
move.
gotta go to like the fucking ushers and you're waving the bloody wristband. No, I swear this is mine. I'm just running to the bathroom and then I'm coming back.
And they weren't going to let us into the seats, and I'm like, I didn't give the wristband, and I'm like, this is literally the wristband. I'm not switching off with somebody and I'm like showing the blood on my shirt, and I'm like, this is nasty. And
so gross.
like I went to 5 different ushers, and I'm like, look, I get it,
Yeah.
but you
Yeah.
can just switch this and put the new one on me. I'm fine with it.
She didn't know the tricks, Stiz.
What did you do? I
You
forgot.
gotta do the trick. We've been over this.
Oh, that's right.
I taught Stiz.
We went to Boston
You make
Calling.
yourself I'm in a different situation, but you always. What was it? We weren't supposed to be in that section, right?
We
But
went to.
were.
I got us press passes for Boston Calling, but the press to see Eminem.
Yeah.
But the
Yeah.
press passes only got us into like not the best, right? We wanted to get into VIP.
Yeah.
So by some miracle, we ended up getting into VIP. We were able to sneak by, right? But then we had to piss, so we wanted to go get drinks. I think.
We were in, but was
Yeah.
scared that once we left,
You weren't gonna be able to get
you're not
back
gonna be
in,
able to get
right.
back
because
in.
it was very sneaky how we
Yeah.
got in.
Yeah.
I was like, that's not gonna happen again.
Once you're in, you're in.
Yeah.
And I have this thing that I do that I kind of put Stiz on. I'm like, here's the thing. You and it, lucky for me, it was a lady too. It was she was a bigger lady, older lady, right?
Yeah.
She was like, I was like, hey, this is what we do. We make ourselves known.
Yeah, you have to make yourself
to her memorable, so she remembers
Yes,
us.
like, oh, it's you guys. You're back.
Yes.
So we do that. I'm like, hey, we like said a joke to her, whatever. And Stiz was like gonna
That's
leave. I was like,
smart.
no, not yet.
You gotta come
we
back.
have to do that again 2 or 3 times so she really knows us.
Yeah.
Remember
So
this?
it's like, oh, it's these guys.
So
Yeah.
like-
like a fucking
That's so
charm.
smart.
So like 20 minutes later, we do something else. So like, yo, there you are. No, but there you are. You're there. Whatever. We did some shit, right? Some shit.
You're there.
You're there. So whatever. She's fucking remembering us now, right? 3rd time we go back. I'm like, all right, we'll be right back. You know,
Yeah.
boom,
Yeah,
come
she's
right
like,
back
come right
in
back
for the
in.
whole night. Yeah, yeah. It's the
And,
thing.
hey, and you're a little older than us, but I don't care what anyone says. Jonathan Davis, Jonathan Davis is a fucking legend. Korn,
Yes,
like
he
when I
is.
was a kid, I didn't really fuck
Yeah.
with Korn. It wasn't until later, but like, dude, like.
Yeah.
This shit right here.
So, even though I was a hip-hop head growing up, when I came on, when all them videos was mashed together, whether it was TRL, whatever it was, like,
And-
I would see, or at least the singles anyways. I know all the fucking singles.
And looking back, dude, he's rocking like all Adidas tracksuits.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
got like
Yeah.
candy-coated Cadillacs.
Yep.
Like,
I mean, it was
it's
catchy
very
as fuck.
hip-hop influenced.
Hip-hop heads could sing the hooks and shit. Like, we knew
1,000%.
those songs.
Yeah. So,
Korn just reminds me of when I worked at Hot Topic.
Nah, that's right. You did work at Hot Topic.
I managed
right?
a Hot Topic.
I didn't realize. When did Hot Topic hit the scene?
Oh my God,
Damn,
a lot.
he's
I mean,
trying to-
ages ago.
Yeah,
So
right.
It went from like West Coast and then it crept this way.
Yeah.
My first experience was at Square One Mall, which is now the mall. And
Yes.
Square One has now become Liberty Tree. Like it's like if you want to have
What do
your
you
own
mean?
store,
Yeah.
you can rent the storefront and be like, I'm Stan. Here's my Funko Pops.
yeah,
you can just look
yeah.
at them and nothing for sale. But
Yeah.
What was
yeah.
first, Spencer's or Hot Topic?
I gotta say Spencer's.
I would think Spencer's,
Yeah,
but I don't
had
know.
to be
Hot
Spencer's.
Topic was the most progressive company I ever worked for, because
Really?
I worked for many companies in the retail space, and like when I worked there, it was right before I got into radio, so it was like 2004, 2005,
Yeah.
like literally right before I got into the whole thing in radio, and they had like computers with email set up with their POS system, so you could like email other
Yeah.
stores. Like no other retail
that in
outlets
old
were doing
time,
that.
yeah.
Nobody. And like we went out for the convention to City of Industry in California, and the CEO would get up on stage and she had this speech that I think her name was Betsy. She had this speech that she would go up there, and it was basically like she would almost do like the George Carlin, like words you can't say, and she would like go on
Classic.
this rant,
Go.
drop the C word at the end, and everybody went nuts, and she's like, okay, can we get to like the conference? And it was
That's great.
unbelievable.
That's great.
It was a wonderful company, great corporate
Yeah.
culture.
All right, here's what I offer for
Hold
the
on,
video.
hold on, Stiz. Jules,
Go ahead.
I smell food.
Me too.
Did you eat?
Yeah, I was just thinking the same. No, it's either food or
And like
fire.
somebody's got something going on.
Yeah, that might be
You know
my
what? I
neighbor
forgot we had that
barbecuing.
open. We
Yeah.
never
Yeah,
have it
that might-
open.
yeah, it might be my
I
neighbor
thought because
barbecuing.
Jules was, takes a while.
Video of the week. So this chick, she's a workout instructor.
Okay.
She's doing a workout class
Yo, this is
virally.
good. I actually saw this the other day. yeah.
She doesn't happen to realize she chose the songs, but she doesn't really understand the songs that
Yeah.
she chose, and she's in for a rude awakening.
Watch yourself.
Shake your ass.
Wait.
I came there with my dick in my hand.
All right. That's unnecessary.
I mean, that's just unnecessary.
Yo, that shit is so great.
Came in with my dick in my hand. Run that back.
Probably
I
one
laughed.
guy watching that workout with his dick in his hand.
There really was somebody watching.
I love when she throws the beat with her hand too. She's like, bam!
Yeah. She like
She
introed
goes-
his line.
She's like, I mean, that's just unnecessary. Mystical was coming out swinging, bro. That was the first
Amazing.
fucking bar of the song.
Yeah.
I came in with my dick in my hand.
Watch yourself.
Fucking Mystical. That's
Can we talk about
hilarious.
your the animal stuff for a little?
Yeah,
Couple different random things I have with
of course.
it. So one is like, first of all, we haven't met yet up until today, right?
Correct.
I picture your Caribbean, I picture your house being like, and correct me if I'm wrong, like I picture you like walking into your house the way that like Ace Ventura, would walk
yep.
into the apartment and say, "Come to me,
Basically.
my jungle friends,"
Yes.
right? Is that what it's like? And then they all like land on you and shit.
It's like that with my dogs, because like my dogs are like good. I mean, like I'm a gun owner, but like
Okay.
I wouldn't even need to use one because good luck getting into my house with my dogs.
All right, so you have so you have dogs. I just thought it was like squirrels and like fucking.
No, I have 3 dogs, and of course the small ones are the more vicious ones. But they're wonderful, and I used to do hospice rescue with senior like Chihuahuas. So I'd pull them from kill shelters in
They
New
have
York.
hospice for
Hospice,
dogs.
yeah.
I
So
didn't know that.
essentially what happened, like people get cheap. They don't want to pay to have their dog put down. So they'd show up at one of the shelters in New York City and be like, hey, I found this dog on the street. Here you go.
Shit.
And it would be like
That's
a
crazy.
16-year-old dog that had never been to the vet. Like its teeth are falling out of its head. It's got mammary tumors. It's a friggin' mess. And they're just, they just want love. So I have my friend Jess, who is with Big Hair Animal Rescue. She's fantastic. And I have my nonprofit, Blues Bridge. So she would get these dogs for me and bring them up, and I would get surgery and get them cleaned up and just give them like a pillow to crash on for 6 months until they were ready to die, basically. And be like, here's some love, here's some food, here's some warmth. Like, you don't have to worry about being on the streets.
Crazy.
Well, that's crazy. Yeah,
That's
because I would
crazy
get
for someone to
attached
do.
to them, and
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh, Jesus Christ. And then real quick,
It's
let me
tough.
just play that drum.
Come to me, jungle friends.
That's Danielle.
Come to me, jungle friends.
Fiber.
Hold on, the landlord's like, well, what's with all the food? He's like, fiber.
It's a fiber. So they're there, and then like I have all my kitty cats, and I have all the broken ones. I take in the broken ones that nobody wants, so or I get stuck with them. Like either way.
What's the weirdest shit you ever took care of? Like, so on the way here, I drove by in 2 different cities, 2 different raccoons on the side of the road.
Yep.
And I literally thought, because I was coming to see you today, I was like, they were weird too. Like the way they were dead, they were like, it looked like they were. But anyways, I have a crazy eye for wildlife. So I seen this wildlife on the side of the road, and it was a raccoon, and I was like, I wonder if Danielle ever like raised like a coon. You ever raised a little baby coon?
So raccoons need a lot of space, and like for raccoons, you need to be rabies vaccinated because they're considered a rabies vector
Right, yeah,
species.
yeah.
So like raccoons, groundhogs, skunks, things like that, bats.
Are you
those are all-
rabies vaccinated?
I am.
Of course you are.
I have to get a booster.
Wait,
but
isn't
I am.
everybody? Is that a thing we get when we're young?
I don't know if
It's
I
not.
am.
Oh,
It's
okay,
not.
okay.
I was bitten by a feral cat years ago, so I had to go to Salem Hospital for the bite wound, and they were like, "Oh, we'll vaccinate you for rabies." So it worked out great. I'm looking for a booster now, but it's like it's a bitch to get it because it's expensive to order the vaccine, even just for a booster. So you have to go to like a travel clinic or something, and insurance doesn't cover it.
Does every veterinarian have to have that?
Every what now?
Veterinarian?
What the hell?
What did I say?
What the fuck? You blew it.
I just trailed off right there. I just started with VE and then just kind of like, this is a bunch of letters.
You left it on VE.
It's like banana. Sometimes I'm like, banana. I don't know when to end.
So I think most vets likely are. I'm not sure if it's a regulation. I know that I worked for a vet part-time for years, and I know most of the several of the vet techs were vaccinated. Not everybody is. I don't think it's a requirement per se. It's helpful.
You should probably do it, yeah.
Raccoons you need a lot of space, and they're very, very loud.
They're vicious little motherfuckers.
They're actually like adorable though.
Yeah,
they're
they look
very
adorable.
smart.
Even when they're dead,
Yeah.
they look all cute on the road and everything.
They have they're super, super smart, and like I have several friends that do rehab raccoons, and they have like all these interactive activities, and they set up little kiddie pools, and they put food in so they can like essentially like wash their food.
Do they gotta stay outside? When
they're little, they'll be inside. So when you take in neonatal animals,
Sorry, this really interests me.
Oh, yeah, get it.
when you take in like squirrels, bunnies, kittens, anything that's a baby, they can't regulate their own body temperature for at least a few weeks. Okay. So we have incubators that we use, and they go in the incubator.
Makes sense, yeah.
So you can put them on a heating pad, but it's like you can have hot spots. The incubator at least keeps it at a certain temperature, and it keeps the humidity stable too, so they don't get dried out. But then you have like pre-release pens that are usually outside, and they're like big cages that have branches and
pre-release,
and stuff
so they
like
get
that.
used to.
So they get used to it. So like with squirrels, when they're rehabbed, they usually spend 2 weeks in a pre-release pen, and then a rehabber will leave the door open so that they know like this is where I can come back to get food until I figure out what the hell I'm doing. And then within a few weeks, they kind of move on. They build a nest. They do their own thing.
All right. So, but for you personally, what is just the craziest shit? Like, because a squirrel is crazy enough to me, but like, is that pretty much?
Yeah, I mean, I triaged a bat once and then transferred to somebody else.
What does that mean, triage?
Triaged it.
What does that mean? Cut open, right? Like,
no, that's a dissection or a necropsy. But triaging basically means you treat it. So, like, for instance, if you were to go to the doctor's office,
I know there's a triage.
If you go to urgent care and you had an injury, they would triage it. They would give you first aid, and it's kind of the same thing. Like, you assess it and see if the animal needs first aid, if they need fluids. Like,
it is amazing to me
is.
your fucking Instagram videos with the squirrels. Like, I've never seen anything like that. I mean, they fucking literally come right into your hand. They fucking. She feeds them they'll run on her. I'm like, holy shit.
And you always want to be as hands off with possible as wildlife because you want them to maintain a natural fear of humans. And they all have different personalities, which is wild. So you'll have some that from the get go, as soon as they open their eyes, they're like, I hate you. But then you'll have some that will like come back and they'll take an almond from you and they'll sit there on the fence and wait because they know that you're gonna. I liken it to kids coming home from college, like they're going to do their laundry and eat all the food that you have in the fridge, and then they go take off again for another couple of weeks.
Yeah.
It's the same
That's
thing.
Funny. Yeah, that's
Makes
a good
sense for wild
analogy.
animals.
What's your stance on hunting?
So, I don't have a huge problem with it.
Because you're a gun owner. You are, right?
Yeah, but I don't. That's for
whatever,
that's really
protection,
like
but
protection.
For protection, but like I enjoy going to the range, like and I know that the gun thing is super controversial, and I completely understand everybody's points on what that is. But like mine is more for sport. Like it's fun to me to go to the range. It's like a sporting activity.
Yeah,
like you hit the target, you try to get more proficient. I'm not going to be like running. I don't carry. I'm not going to be running down the street. Like I have a firearm. I'm very protective with everything. But I do have several.
My application.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Nice.
But I do have several friends that hunt, and when it comes to the meat consumption thing is a big thing. I've had people. I put stuff up on my Instagram about animals that I save, and I'll have people that respond to me and be like, "You're a hypocrite. You eat animals, so therefore,
fuck you. Don't ever help anything ever in your life."
Basically.
Can't please everybody.
Exactly. And like my diet, I don't eat a ton of meat anyway. Like it's mostly plant based, but and I understand where they're coming from. But hunting to me is better than like factory farming when it comes to meat, because you have these cows and pigs that live in these deplorable conditions.
Yes.
It's disgusting, and people don't want to hear about it. Like the dairy industry is just you
worst.
don't lactate unless you have a baby. So
Right.
cows are forcibly impregnated. So whatever, it is what it is.
I can't even watch them videos.
I went down
it's
a
terrible.
just yesterday.
Can't-
Just yesterday, I went
do it.
down a YouTube hole / Google hole.
Yep.
Somehow I started thinking about how many chickens are slaughtered every day.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking slaughtered. The number 188 million.
Crazy.
That's so
Dude,
crazy.
crazy.
that is fucking crazy.
Think about how
That
many
is
supermarkets there are, and they're just
Right.
loaded with chicken. Like, it's crazy.
But you look at that and how those animals are treated, and I know there's a bigger movement toward more responsible butchery. Like I have my friends Lisa and Warren own a place in Newburyport called the Modern Butcher, and they're trying to do it more like we work closely with farms, and we know what kind of lives these animals have, and at least make it a better thing. Whatever your opinion is on meat consumption, at least they want to try to make it better. So there's that. But where's I going with that? Oh, but as far as hunting goes, everyone I know that hunts has great respect for the land, and they use every single piece of the animal.
Yeah,
Kill
I
what
know a
you-
couple people
eat what
who
you
do it.
kill.
And they're on the
Yeah,
same
and
kind
it's
of
like
shit, yeah.
the animal it's organic, it's free range, it's lived its life, and it's like everything else. Yes, there are bad apples. There are
Yeah.
people that don't respect it, that are cruel
They're
to the
not these
animals.
millionaire pieces of
Trophy
shit
animals
that's
that
looking
look
like
trophy hunting, no,
that's
like-
posing with a
bullshit.
fucking
Yeah.
thing with
Yeah.
antlers and
No.
all this crazy shit. Yeah.
That's whatever. But
Yeah.
as far as the other stuff, like it's everybody's gonna have an opinion on it.
Yeah,
it's,
yeah.
It's kind of like my stance with this stuff is I always do my best to educate. And, I don't want to, because when you come at people and you're like, you should do this or you shouldn't do that, people shut down.
Immediately defensive, yeah.
Exactly, and they don't want to hear it. So I try to at least be like, okay, like let me explain a few things to you about why people have a problem with this, or maybe how you could make more responsible decisions, and you can look up some things and educate yourself. And there will be some people that are receptive to that, and they're like, oh, you know what? I never knew that, so at least I know now. And some people are like, I don't give a crap. No, whatever.
Yeah.
Stiz,
Yeah.
can I do one more
Yeah, absolutely.
animal thing?
Yes.
This is actually the real. This is,
should-
this
you
is
should-
actually
you
the whole
should
reason.
settle an argument
This
that
next
you
one
and
is the
I
whole
had.
reason I brought you here.
Okay.
Just kidding.
Because
So-
we beefed over this. If this
So
is what I
nothing,
think you're gonna ask.
nothing infuriates me more than when I see like homeless people like walking like their fucking pet dog or whatever.
And there was
I
a
fucking hate
story
it, right?
a year ago.
And so me and Stiz really got into it on the show, and I was like,
Because there was a story where these like PETA people,
Yeah.
whatever, these woke fucking whatever, they literally snuck, and you gotta be fair, they made a video and they fucking went up to this homeless guy, snatched this fucking dude's dog. This dude starts crying, like literally crying, like, oh, don't take my
Wasn't
dog.
it like a pup,
They're
though?
like,
Was it a
yeah,
puppy?
I think it might have been a puppy. I don't know. I don't. It wasn't like a day old puppy. I mean, you know what I mean.
Right.
He had that dog for a little while.
Yeah.
And you had
next
a
thing
bunch
you know,
of you had a
Jules
bunch
is
of
holding
guys.
back me and Stiz because
Yeah,
No,
and
I'm
he
just kidding. It
took
wasn't that
the
serious,
stance
but-
of, nah, fuck that homeless guy. He shouldn't have the dog. And I took the
my
stance
shit
of
is-
like, it's just a dog.
If
Like
you-
if he can feed it and it's not living in fucking
So
completely
Stiz cares
shitty
about the person while I
situations.
don't. My shit is I care more about the animals than the people. That's probably a fucked up thing with me
Right.
anyways, right? But my
Yeah,
shit is like
Danielle, right.
But if my shit is if you can't take care of yourself, you shouldn't be taking care of no other fucking thing, especially a little innocent animal that can't take care of
So here's my
itself.
response to that, and I completely understand where you're coming from because there's a guy that I've seen in downtown Salem by Starbucks a few times. And he's a young kid, and like I've kind of I've thrown him 20 spot a couple of times. He's got his dog with him. I think it's.
Oh, we got a nice bag of dope that day.
And no, he seems like he's like
Score!
he's straight. But I kind of wanted to talk to him and be like, hey, what's your deal? Like, how did you come to be? Like, what happened? And I haven't personally encountered, but I know people that have worked with the homeless as advocates who have been with people that are homeless because they don't want to give up their pet. Like, for instance, that like they would have had to, their decision would have been like to have shelter or to give up their pet, and they're so dedicated to their pet that they took to the streets and said, I'm gonna, until I can figure out a way that I can house me and my pet. And some people may look at that as irresponsible, saying you're making the animal suffer needlessly.
It's got to be a really small percentage.
I'm sure it is. But I feel like people are almost more prone to like give also when they see an animal. Like instead of be like, oh, fuck this homeless person, like what, you know,
That's
they
probably
make
true.
judgments about
That's probably
like,
true, yeah.
you know, where they came from. Oh, they must be on drugs. They must be drinking, whatever. But they're like, oh, you have a dog. Here's some money. You know.
Yeah, I can see that.
So I don't know. I'm just the kind of person that I'm sometimes criticized about not taking a side. But the thing is, I try to see both sides whenever I can, and I try to whether or not I agree with them.
I get it.
I try to at least be like, all right, let me understand why this is happening.
But if I'm driving by or walking by quickly, I'm not stopping to take the time to get any sides and doing this shit.
Of course not.
I'm immediately thinking, you fucking piece
judge.
of shit. Give the
Right.
fucking dog to someone that could, you know what I'm saying?
But the thing is, too, like, there may not be a resource for that animal to be taken in. It might be an older animal. Like, you know, we've many great animal shelters and rescues in the area that are billed as no kill, but that's not necessarily what it seems. You know, they are no kill because they don't put animals down, but they also don't take in unadoptable animals. So they won't take in old animals or sick animals. So maybe that person did try to place the animal. Maybe they tried to. Maybe they did try to find a home for it, and they couldn't.
It was also part of the argument I just remember now was that I think that was in L.A.
Okay.
Oh, it was West Coast.
Well, LA's a mess. LA's
but my shit was we're East Coast.
Yeah.
We're talking about 8 months of the
Snow
year.
and
snow
fucking
and terrible
bullshit.
weather.
And I'm
Yeah.
like,
My thing is, as
just
long
don't
as the
care as
dog
much
isn't
about
being
people.
neglected, then I'm not too worried about it.
Right.
It's a dog. It can sleep on the street. It'll be all right. Doesn't need to sleep on a fucking couch.
you don't need to sleep on a couch.
As long as it's
but-
not exposed to the elements
Yeah, of
and
course.
in
Yeah,
danger.
within reason.
All right,
within reason.
so I was right. Thank you.
No, so I was right. Thank you. All right, we have a couple more minutes left. Let's see. Was there anything else? This is kind of crazy. T.I. and Tiny are now. You know T.I. and Tiny, his
Yes.
wife. I will give T.I. credit for that. He stuck with Tiny through
Yeah?
thick and thin. He has stuck
Come
with.
on, he was smashing the whole time.
Of course he has,
Well, he
but
was,
she's
but
still
you know,
his wife.
she's still there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's still there. There you
Yeah.
are. You're there. When he gets home from tour, she's still on the
You're
same.
there.
Wait, what is that from? I don't
Austin
know that
Powers.
reference.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. So yeah. So there was like rumors going around on with this on social media for like the past several months where some dirty shit was going on. Like,
I was gonna bring
basically-
it up a bunch of weeks ago, and I just kind of
it's been floating around,
Yeah.
but now they are officially under investigation, and apparently, like, basically,
sex thing, right?
Yeah, like T.I. will procure the girl. I mean, Tiny will procure the girls
for him.
and then sometimes they both smash them out. There was
Are they
some
like underage or
story-
something? Like,
yeah,
is this
some
kid-
of them are
oh, so it's like
underage.
an R. Kelly situation?
There was a bunch of like screenshots of like text or
Text.
things
Yeah.
like that, right?
DMs and shit. Like apparently Nelly was involved
girls,
one night.
yeah. Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Apparently T.I. like stuck his toe. He stuck his toe in the
You
girl's
see,
vagina or
Okay.
something like that.
I
Yeah,
didn't bring
gets
it up on the
crazy.
show because it's like I see so much outrageous shit like that on IG and on
Yeah,
Twitter that
yeah,
I'm
you
not-
never know
it's
what
like you
to
don't
believe.
know.
I'm not really hearing too much about this, so I swept it under the
Saturated.
rug.
Well,
What's the Joe
now it's
Budden story,
officially-
by the way?
I'll tell you.
You got- all
Yeah,
right.
so we'll do that as soon as I get done. So the Los Angeles Police Department officially opened an investigation into rapper T.I. and his wife Tiny
so it's official.
after the pair were accused
it's
of
a fish.
drugging
It's a fish now.
and
Let's get a check
sexually
mark.
assaulting a woman. So they drugged her and sexually assaulted her.
That's it.
That's
That's
awful.
what it was. It was
Allegedly?
It was about a bunch
Yeah,
of drugs,
allegedly,
like
allegedly.
it was like ecstasy and shit, right? And whatever, Molly and shit, right? All that type of shit.
Let's see. The
makes-
woman claimed T.I. and Tiny drugged her drink while spending time with the couple in a hotel room. Then she became sick. Later, the three allegedly engaged in sexual acts, despite the unidentified woman telling T.I. no. Following the sexual acts, the woman allegedly became sick in the bathroom. T.I. and Tiny deny the allegations. So they're just like, nah, y'all are tripping. But yeah, I don't know.
But it's officially been opened as an
Yeah.
investigation.
Yeah.
So we'll
see.
just keep an eye on that one because I hate like talking too much about stuff that like is just.
And
it's
they
like-
haven't developed enough yet.
Yeah,
right?
it hasn't developed enough for me.
Yeah.
All right, and so now with the Joe Button shit, so it's official.
Sound
He
like Benjamin
fired.
Button?
That's a great movie. I gotta watch that. I have that on DVD,
Okay.
and I've been trying to watch it, but I haven't got around to doing it. But yeah, so Joe Button, he does a podcast, the Joe Button podcast. He does it with these two kids, Rory and Mal.
Okay.
And they've been riding since pretty much the beginning of the podcast.
Okay.
One of them, one of the kids, Rory, has been there since literally episode 1.
This is officially Stiz's your favorite podcast.
Yeah,
that
it's
you
one.
listen
Yeah,
to, right?
Joe Rogan and Joe Button. Yeah, the other kid's been there since like Ep 70, and they're on like Ep 4 something.
Okay.
So they've been there for a while.
A hot minute, if you will.
A hot minute. And so Joe Button officially.
You need to stop saying button. It's
Button.
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 Let's see.
Button. People have a. All right, go.
Yeah.
You are in breach of your contract.
And
I love how he's talking
from
to
this
no one,
point
man.
forward, you are fired. And you're not welcome back. Does anybody in here have a problem that I'm the person that has to say that?
Okay, so he fired them a fit. Now, they had, like, it all started where, like, apparently there was some conflict going on, and Joe told them, like, yo, take a month off. Go take a month off.
Right.
And they felt the way, they felt like, yo, who the fuck are you to be telling us to take a time, just because your name's on it, like,
Right.
you know,
We've been here.
Yeah. And Joe basically, and then they tried to come back for an episode, and you could tell, like, there was still kind of tension. And then the very next episode, which was last week, was this, where they weren't there, and he was just like, yo, y'all are fired. And he made it seem like they were workers. He kept calling, that was like the narrative being painted. Yeah. You are workers. This is my podcast. And, you know, fuck you. Like, it is what it is. And they put out their response on Vimeo. It was a $2 response. I paid. I got it. And they basically
Big
said...
ballin' over here.
Moneybags McGee.
Thank you, PPE. So they said...
PPP.
You know what PPP? Yeah,
you know me.
So they said, yo, fuck you. What happened was we have a profit sharing deal.
Oh.
Okay? So, which means that whatever money comes into the Joe Button podcast, we pay whatever expenses, and then whatever is left over, we split in however they divvied up the splits, okay? Yeah. And every time they went to Joe to say, let me see accounting, we want to see the accounting, Joe would always say, fuck you, you're not going to see it. And that's pretty much, you know, where it stands right now. So Joe's just having a bad week. And basically, he tried to start a network. He tried to start like a whole the Joe Button network, a podcast network. He has another podcast on there with 3 females. I forget the name of it.
Oh, really?
And a couple of months ago, one of the 3 females on this separate podcast just abruptly left out of nowhere and didn't really give a reason why. And there were rumors flying around that Joe was being like a kind of sexual harassing type of boss. And sure as shit, the girl's name's Olivia Dope. She put out an Instagram post the other day and was like, yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Okay, I saw that.
He was coming on. He
was
coming on the podcast basically saying, like, the only reason why I hired you is because I want to fuck you. And yeah, it's just a tough week for Joe Button, and it looks like he's going to be out of here.
But let me ask you this. I saw, I could have sworn I saw a still shot, unless somebody made it to be a dick on the internet. I seen a still shot of 2 randoms sitting in Rory and Maul's spot. Did he have randoms trying to take their place?
Well, they're not like randoms per se. They're like friends of Joe Button, which initially...
Because you know how the memes are going to be like, you know, the bootleg...
Yeah, you know.
That's a mistake. You got to know that going in.
And if for anyone that's been a fan of Joe Button, like, he's notoriously fumbled every bag he's ever had. Like, he was signed to Eminem, and he fucking went on this whole rant about how he's better than Eminem for an hour.
Before that, he was on Def Jam.
He got fired from there. He's notorious for trying to walk out of deals and not honoring contracts.
So I have a Joe Budden story. I lived in New Jersey for about 6 months with my ex. God, this is like 20 years ago. So it was like 2000, 2001,
That's when
2001.
Button was really popping, though. Like mixtape.
Brand new.
Button.
Yes.
Mixtape Button was crazy.
So his self-titled album came out in 2003 with Pump It Up, Fire, Focus. So after I moved out of that building and moved back here, my ex and I split up. Joe Budden moved into that building. And my ex at the time was really into like the whole mixtape thing and stuff. Like he was big into Exhibit. He was big into like a lot of those acts. So he texted me, like we were emailing back and forth because texting wasn't really a thing back then. And he's like, yeah, you know that guy Joe Budden that I listened to? And I'm like, oh yeah. He's like, he lives down the hall from me now at our old apartment. I was like, what? And I'm like, because he drops Jersey all the time in his tracks. Yeah. So it was so funny, and then like as he grew in popularity, I'm like, I used to live in the same building as Joe Budden, not at the same time, but I did.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. Yeah. That is pretty wild.
Did he ever pass by him in the hall and say what's up?
Be like, hey, I don't know. He took the shopping cart from the garage up to the apartment, but didn't bring it back.
He didn't return it.
Yeah, exactly.
Shiesty.
We held that thing for like 3 months.
I got something, Stiz.
Go ahead.
When you were talking about ADHD on one of your podcasts that I was listening to, you said the line, why you're like, why are you the way you are? Which, is Michael Scott, obviously. And then that got me thinking, there's a couple different questions in here. Like, so for one, you dropped that line. So I was like, there's 2 people in this world, right?
Yep.
There's people that know every line of every fucking episode of The Office. And then there's assholes. Like
Thank you.
And then there's complete assholes.
I'm not even going to acknowledge it.
Yeah, I just don't even know how these people exist, right?
Yep.
So there's that. I just wanted to make fun of him. But then the Hold on, that
trying to make fun of me, Snuk?
Hold on, that led to a joiner.
I don't think you have the facilities for that. Big
I
man.
got you. Hold on. So off of that, is that why you the ADHD thing? I know you talked about in the pod that I listened to. Is that why you related to Joyner because of the album title, or were you rocking with Joyner kind of before the ADHD thing?
It was before that. So one of my best friends is named Alexa, and she and I kind of bonded over houseplants and squirrels. And her fiance Colin was a huge Joyner fan.
Okay.
So this goes back a couple of summers. And like every time I would go to the house, he would be playing Joyner videos on the TV. They lived in the haunt at the time. So literally every time I walked in, he'd be like, hey, he's like, you know Joyner Lucas? He's from Worcester. And I'm like, I know. I'm like, you play this guy's music constantly.
Yeah.
And then like every time like he play more tracks, and I'm like, oh, I'm like, actually like I love this guy. He's amazing. Yeah. And then as he kept like with the come up, but like now it's like, I mean, even just in the last couple of years to see like from the stuff that I was listening to at the time and like learning
Eminem's
about him.
album,
Seriously, and like Eminem's album, like all the stuff he did with Logic, they had that beef and they fixed it and whatever. And like now he's got this video out with Diddy, George Lopez. And,
what is this video? Is it
Mark
a music
Wahlberg.
video?
So yeah,
it's
it's for Zim Zimma. It's for that track.
Zim Zim off the album.
I didn't hear it, but
Yeah. But
okay.
yeah, so it's like this whole thing. And he's got like a couple of local guys, Ben Prue and Alex Stinson, that do all his videos.
Ben Prue shot one of my videos.
Yeah.
The Squad one.
I love Ben. His girlfriend
Squad
Amanda, she does her fucking makeup work is amazing. She's talented, so talented.
Yeah, that girl's crazy.
Unbelievable, and she's beautiful too. So yeah, like I love seeing all the stuff that they come out with, and it's just like I'm a big fan of lyrical rappers. Like I love the lyrical style, more than just like the Migos mumbling like BS, like stuff like that. Like I love that because it's just like wow.
Yeah.
That's
like when Snuk drops Lou Merloni in a song.
Yeah. No, I'm next level nice, but but not everybody can be Joyner, Token, Snuk nice.
Yeah. You're in a lone category by yourself.
Yeah, like lyrically, yeah.
Yeah, it's not easy.
Yeah, definitely. There's definitely not a lot
right, we gotta wrap
focus
this soon because I gotta pee.
lyrics anymore. Yeah, I gotta go. I gotta pick up my mom at the airport.
You gotta do that.
But yeah, all right. Any burning desires, Danielle? What I guess end it with this. Like, what's going on with Danielle? Like, I mean, you have so many fans out there, and I mean that. You really do. You have so many fans.
I love them.
People do not want to lose Danielle Murr in their life. So, like, are they going to lose Danielle Murr in their life, or is she going to be around? Like,
I'm around. I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Like, when I left the show, I had all these grand ambitions for like business things and stuff that I wanted to do, and I kind of forgot that part of the reason that I left, was because I wanted a little bit more freedom to like not be tethered to a schedule and not, have to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning all the time and not do like, somebody like Greg. Greg functions on 4 hours or less of sleep.
He's inhuman. I don't know how to fucking
and I mean,
after having 10 cocktails.
Seriously, I mean, he comes in, he does it, and he's on point all the time.
Yeah.
And it's great because that's how he functions, and he's done it for years and years and years, and I've always been amazed by it. I can do that for a while, but eventually I hit a wall, and I'm like, I need a break. So I put all this pressure on myself to do a lot of stuff because I'm like, well, I got to do this. And I'm like, you know what? I'm in such a fortunate position that I can kind of take a few months off and take the summer off and just kind of like chill. Like, yes, I'm still going to be doing podcast episodes and I'm still going to be doing that stuff. But like, I'm like, you know what? I can kind of take a step back and chill out. So I've been taking, we can only go take dogs to the beach until tomorrow in Swampscott. Right. So I take my dog to the beach every morning at like 6 a.m., throw the ball.
You're still up early. I was seeing you on Instagram up pretty early.
Only when the tide is low. Because otherwise I usually sleep till 8:30. I wake up at 3:49 almost every day automatically with no alarm. It's just like a thing. I wake up, I check the clock, it's 3:48, 3:49. And then immediately I have that like panic, like, I'm late.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, I don't have a job. It's fine. I don't have to be anywhere.
I quit that shit.
Exactly. So I'll go back to bed for a while. So now it's just kind of like I want to get my mental health in order. I want to get my body in order, like lose some weight, eat better, feel better, do yoga on the beach, do that stuff, work on my house, work on my garden, and then be like, okay, as we get toward the end of the summer and Labor Day, just be like, all right, now I'm going to reset and see what's next, where I'm going to go next. And I don't know where that is. I don't know if that means going back to a conventional job, going back to radio.
Sometimes that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Not knowing.
Because I've had wonderful success and I love radio so much and people ask me all the time like, oh, do you miss the show? Like, of course I miss the show.
Yeah, of course.
I miss that dynamic. I miss throwing little one-liners in. I miss working with the guys. Like anyone that I've worked with over my career, we've always had great camaraderie on the air and I do definitely miss that. But it's been nice to take a break from the negative side of it, like the text line hardos and
there's a lot of that
people
shit.
on Twitter. And it's very easy to sit there and say, oh, don't listen to that. But when it comes at you nonstop. It's just
easier said than
it can get under your skin.
Or when
So-
it's directed to you personally.
yeah,
too,
and when it's like things, especially when, like we talked earlier about how people make up stuff in their head. Like I could say something verbatim, like say something exactly, and someone could hear it. And
I don't like the color orange, and then they're like,
and then
"Whoa,
you
what
hate
about
all
pink?
colors,
You fucking
right?
hate
Exactly.
pink."
So people make up what they want to hear,
Yeah.
and it's frustrating to because you do want to defend yourself, and you do want to reply and be like, no, that's not what I meant, or
Right.
here's this or whatever. But it's eventually you just kind of have to step back and just be like, click 3 dots, mute, and
You
it's just
literally have no
it's a beautiful
time if you
thing.
did
Yeah,
that.
it is.
It would be. It's a losing battle. It is
Yeah.
a losing battle, and it's horrible for your fucking men.
Mm-hmm.
But either way, everybody is welcome to follow along on the ride wherever you.
Yes.
And we haven't. I couldn't even tell you the last time we had a guest.
No, it's been a little while.
It's been a while. We kind of, yeah.
And for the 100th
For
episode,
the 100th ep, we want to be special.
it's great.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so
Yeah,
much
yeah.
for blessing us. We appreciate
Of course.
that. We
Before you,
love
you
how do you
guys.
think
Big
Engineer
fans.
Jules did?
I think he did a wonderful job. He hit record, so that's where
That's
we're
why
ahead
I
of the
get
game.
the big
Nailed
bucks,
it.
the
Yep.
big
Hold
bucks,
on.
baby.
We don't know for sure. Yeah, we've made this
I can
mistake.
see it. I can
All
see it.
right, let's hope.
Well, we thought we knew one
Yep.
time too. But okay.
Guys, everyone that's been following us, we appreciate you. 100 episodes. Snuk, cheers to 100,
Yo,
my guy. I love you.
they said we wouldn't do it.
Yeah, they
Nah,
said
but real
we-
shit.
we said we
wouldn't
wouldn't do it.
Real shit though. Most podcasts they say fail under 10 episodes. They say.
Yeah, give it
It's
a
a real
give it a
thing.
credit,
Good for you.
give it a wrap. So yeah, we've enjoyed it. We appreciate everyone rocking with us. Every song we've ever played is on the playlist, Stuck on Stuff playlist. You can reach out to us, Stuck on Stuff on Instagram, Twitter, all that shit. And until the
YouTube,
meantime,
subscribe.
in between time, yeah, YouTube, all that shit. Hit the bell notifications, all that good shit. I am Stiz Grimey on everything,
Superstar Snuk on everything.
and Daddy wasn't there.
Peace.
Dre told me not to trust you niggas. Your energy off, you finicky, I rush you niggas. Just walk around the crib like, why nigga can't live? Get this money, fuck these bitches though. Think about the beef like, we can pass these motherfucking straps like a physical.